fans, and welcome back to another edition of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. I'm your host, Bobby Tamburo, and joining me as always is our wonderful co-host and expert in the field, East Side Dave McDonald.
Thank you, Robert.
Dave, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. I always like your introductions because they have a little bit of an NPR feel to them with the, they're so nice. So nice and almost quiet.
Out of college, I got a job at Dick's, and one of the things you could do is do the closing announcements.
Yes.
And our store manager had the worst voice in the world, like Cousin Brucey on steroids. You know what I mean? It was just that bad, but loved doing it. And one night they're like, "Hey, Bobby, you should do it. You should tell him you should do it."
And you were very quiet like that?
I was good, and I was like, I'm not going to tell him because he'll lose his mind if somebody suggests it. And then they did, and I did it, and he was like, "That wasn't bad, Bobby. You could have been a little louder, but it was good." And some firefighter was like, "That means you win." And then
all right. Well, God bless you, Robert.
But anyway,
this is episode 5.
Who would have thought we made it to episode 5?
Not me. That's for sure. And this is taking place instead of the Davey Mac Sports program and Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast, because those shows are on vacation. And we've decided, though, we're going to have an extremely special, epic. I call this one an epic, big-time, big-sized episode of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite here, Robert.
It certainly is. And let's get right into it. What do you say?
Let's do it.
It's a big episode with no need for the small talk.
What is
tonight's
today's episode?
Honestly, is a topic that in radio is as old as radio itself. Somebody starts talking, somebody else starts talking some shit. And
That's
inevitably, Radio Wars happens.
Radio Wars is the topic for this evening.
And that's the topic. And at surface value, that is what we're talking about, is a radio war. But really, what it gets down to and the deeper issue at hand is the forming of two teams, two radio shows. I think it was the great Herb Brooks who said, a good team will beat a bunch of superstars playing as individuals.
The American U.S. hockey team and the Miracle on Ice.
You know, give me a group of good guys
reference.
playing as a team.
Sure.
And I think that's really what we're dealing with here, because it is Eastside Dave, you.
I'm the star. I'm
representing.
I know Wayne Gretzky's Canadian and he wasn't on the Miracle on Ice team, but as far as hockey goes and as far as radio producers go, I would consider myself like a Gretzky, a Jordan, a Babe Ruth, Tiger Woods, Secretariat, the best, Ali, best of all time. Goats, all of the goats, you put me in that category. As far as producers go, every other producer on Ron and Fez and or Opie and Anthony can suck my ass compared to me. And that's a fucking fact. Everyone knows that. I'm the greatest of all time. Sketches, comedy bits, stunts, games, confessions, stories.
Well, you hit the third one, stunts. But I really like the metaphor for you as Jordan.
Michael Jordan,
And it's not just because I figure myself as Kobe ripping off all your moves and doing them slightly better. But
slightly better?
That's
slightly fucking better. Now, you want to get me fired up on your ass. Let me tell you something. First of all, Kobe Bryant was never slightly better than Michael Jordan. He wasn't better than Michael Jordan in any way, shape, or form. MJ, 6 championships. Kobe, 5.
Okay.
MJ, the number 1 player on his team for all 6 championships. Kobe, the number 2 on 3 of those championships, because on the 3-peat with Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal was the NBA Finals MVP all 3 times. Did you know that?
I did know that, actually.
Yeah. Sportsmaster, if you're going to fucking do your goddamn... And don't you ever call yourself slightly better than me. Call yourself slightly worse.
I'm like at the Kobe just getting drafted out of high school days. I'm still learning. You haven't seen my best shit yet. I'm going to imitate you as my whole point. It was
the slightly better that rubbed you the wrong way. Just say...
I didn't mean it that way. I'm walking in your footsteps.
All right.
Everything I do.
It's a radio wars. It's going to be a special episode. Should we at least say that there might be a mystery guest involved?
Oh, we should say that there's going to be a mystery guest. And if you know the radio war we're talking about, it won't be much of a guess who the mystery is. But
my rival in the radio wars. That's who the fuck it was.
And honestly, your rival in life, I'd say at this point.
I think so. Well, in some ways. Friend, rival.
Before we get into our special guest,
yes,
let's talk about you.
We're not going to ass fuck him, right?
I mean, he's scared like we are. He certainly looks like it. But you were part of the Ron and Fez show. That's who you're representing in this. The chemistry of the Ron and Fez show is something that gets talked about a lot because there was a lot of drama that got played out on air behind the scenes. You know, you versus Earl, you versus Lily, Earl versus Lily, Pepper versus Earl. You know, the whole
And we had a fair share of issues.
But what I loved most about the Ron and Fez show is whenever there was an outside threat, whether it be a caller calling out somebody's something, you know, the troops rallied around that person and they all knew their role.
Stick-to-itness. It's called unity. Something a lot of these fucking podcast networks and radio shows have no concept of. Unity, stick-togetherness, have each other's back. Don't, fuck each other in the ass, and don't backstab. And something a lot of people have no concept of now, but I've had that concept of loyalty my entire fucking career.
You certainly have. And that's something that shows here. But I want to get into the structure of the show a little bit, because it's something I feel like you do very well that I really appreciate is...
Thank you.
If there's a bit... You'll do it unless if somebody else wants to. Like if there's a stunt that comes out on the Davey Mac sports program, somebody's got to fall or get hurt. You're like, I'll do this unless if Rob, do you want to? Or like if you see it in somebody's eyes, you kind of take the mantle. And then if anybody else is like, no, I'll step up and do it.
I've said this before. There was a time where I was involved in 3 bets at the exact same time because everyone else from Ron and Fez, every other producer from either Ron and Fez or Opie and Anthony were a bunch of, drag their feet in the mud, boring dullards who put themselves and their own reputations over the fucking shows and audience. In other words, they always wanted to look cool and shit like that. So I would always say, hey, but at one point I had a biggest gainer competition where I put on 30 pounds in a month. At the exact same time, a biggest beard competition against Fez. And at the exact same time, a biggest afro competition against fucking Sam or something like that because no one else would step up. You see now why maybe people should have given me a little fucking respect?
I do see it. Maybe and I will say, too.
You got me fired up, and then now this IPA. Maybe this is the reason why.
I feel like the beard and the fro might have helped the weight gain overall. Like, those two might have fed into the other, but hey, I get where you're coming from.
I gained 32 pounds in 30 days.
But the other thing I will say is if there was a bit no one would do, especially this is more evident after you left because I feel like there wasn't anything you stepped up and refused to do, but Fez would even do it. Like, Fez was the guy who would do the stunt, and the hierarchy was almost like the host would take the burden unless if somebody jumped in front of it.
Just you have fun. You go out there. You don't put yourself above the audience. I'll tell you one thing that's a little bit of controversy. I know that's not a radio war, but it's something that I'll discuss real quick since you're bringing it up. I was never supposed to do beard porn. Somehow I got roped into beard porn because Pepper made a bet with Chris Pepper Stanley made a bet with Fez, and then Welch didn't want to do it. So I had to fucking make a goddamn fucking Skinamax gay porn that's on the internet where we're rubbing our beards all over each other. I had nothing to do with it. That's the point. I never put myself over the show or the audience. I'm a great writer. I fucking do characters, sketches, whatever the fuck. I know how to be funny up here in the mind. But because all these other pussies would drag their feet, fine, fuck it. Because I hate dead air and shitty radio where someone's having to be convinced to do a stunt on the air. And by the way, let me say,
Micah Ruzioni, this is about the team, though. You're looking at who do you play for? You play for the United States, the Ron and Fez show.
Right.
So my point is, there was always somebody who was going to do the bit. It would never go down the hill. The bit would roll up the hill. And when you came to the show, you got hired as a producer. You didn't start as an intern and work your way up. You did that other places.
Producer.
When you were interviewing for the job, did you have to pitch?
I worked in radio at that point for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was hired in 2005 and I officially worked in radio overnights at WBJB 90.5 The Night, locally in Jersey.
You were doing it every night overnight?
Yeah, Mondays through Fridays.
Oh, I thought Ron at one point said he found out that you lied to him about that and you were doing weekends or something when you first got hired. Oh, that was an informer bit.
No, 95.9 The Rat, I was doing weekends.
That's where I got confused.
Yeah, no, 90.5 The Night. It was voice tracked overnights, but I was the overnight guy.
You know why I got confused?
That was my first job.
You know why I got confused?
Why?
Because The Rat, your morning show, you've been #1 for how many books in a row now?
32 books in a row.
That's why I'm hearing about it all the time.
And when September books come, it'll be 33.
Perfect. Well,
and that's a fucking that ain't a fucking prediction. That's a spoiler.
Yeah, it is. And not to spoil it too much, but back to what we were talking about. When you were interviewing for the job, did you have to pitch your role of how you saw yourself, like what responsibilities you saw yourself taking on the crew? Did you say, hey, I feel like I could do the stunts now that Billy Staples is gone?
When I was interviewing for the job?
Yeah, like there was no discussion like, Dave, what do you see your role on the team being or anything like that? Okay.
No, we just kind of hung out with the show for a few days. They had a few guys hang out with the show for a few days, and then I guess whoever they liked the most at the end of those few, a couple weeks, they just chose somebody. It wasn't such a big ordeal. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you came in and being like,
now that I think about it, I don't think I said I could bring anything to the table.
I was just curious because it seems like more so than other shows, there were kind of divided lines. Like, all right, that's Dave's thing, that's Earl's thing. Like, Dave's thing would be everything. Earl's thing would be sitting there and taking credit for what Dave did, or getting stuff from
Earl's
the fridge.
Earl's thing would be blame me when he changes the channels on other radio shows, TVs, and they DVR a fucking Yankee game instead of the Grammys, and then blame the fucking newly hired redheaded producer. That was Earl's thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
that wasn't my thing.
And then I guess the last thing I have is kind of who showed you the ropes?
In terms of what?
Once you started working there, like, this is how we do things for the Ron and Fez show.
Well, Fez was a close person of, these are the things that you should begin to do. 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So there was somebody there to kind of be like, this is what the process is going to be. The onboarding is what they call it in the normal world these days. Yeah. Where, like, we're going to teach you, show you how to do. That was Fez, the show host. So you had direct interaction with him, and he was kind of showing you, like,
with the stupid computer shit that I wasn't even interested in. So that's why I always was, I didn't fucking care about loading in audio. With all due respect, that's an Earl Douglas, Eric Nagel, guy who doesn't have a lot of pizzazz, a lot of personality, guy who's a bit of a snooze, a dullard, if you will. That's a job for those type of folks. I wasn't interested in that. What Fez got me into is, here are the things that you should be thinking about for the on-air product. That's what
good
Fez
to know. What you think I do for you is being a dullard and bringing nothing to the table. So.
Did I bring you up?
That's what I do. I load the clips and audio.
Fucking E-Rock. Who the fuck said Robert?
I'm just thinking about our show here, and that's the role I play.
That they only do that. That's what I was saying.
No,
you have the ability to sometimes be funny.
I will say I consider you one of the mentors in production. Probably the closest mentor I have as far as production goes. Maybe not audio editing. That might be Roy.
Production, yeah. No, I should not be a mentor.
No, as far as being a producer, I mean. And one of the things you taught me early on was be a Swiss Army knife.
That's a big difference. What SiriusXM has never understood about the difference between a producer and a guy who works in production. They've never understood that. It was because Steve Blatter would say, what do you do? What do you produce? And I'd be like, this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit. Those are all things on air. Like that's more like personality stuff. Like, what do you produce? I go, I don't understand. I produced a puppet. I did a fucking Mike Francesa the other day, a Richard Dreyfuss thing. I did a board gossip. I did a Dave Leno. I did a goddamn fucking thing over here. I did a Guy Geyerson, and he'd be like, yeah, but those are all on air characters. What do you produce?
And you just said a fucking thing.
And I go, that's what I fucking produce. What those guys think of is as a produce is production. When you fucking load audio or fucking do that shit, that's production.
Absolutely, and both are
not
important.
The same thing.
And you can do both, but different. Yeah, absolutely.
You can do production and be a great producer, song parodies, all that kind of shit, making cool audio. 100%. You can also be a producer who gets a lot of shit on the air. That's called producing. It's all about the on air.
And it all adds to the show.
Exactly.
Every part plays its role. But what I also like is you guys didn't get so rigid that you were like, this is what I do for the show. I cut the stingers. Earl does this. Like, if you had to go make Out Your Friends Monday, Out Your Friends, you could go do that real quick.
Oh, I know the basics of
whereas
audio
I feel
production,
like the other team we're going to look at, everybody had, this is your job, you do it. And then there was a lot of gaps and nobody was filling them in and things kind of tended to trickle down. That's kind of like what I liked about the Ron and Fez show. It seemed like everybody was willing to pick up the ball and run with it, whereas other places, like the frustration came out on Ron and Fez when you were trying to cover for somebody and you finally had enough and it broke. You were like, come on, I've been doing X, Y, and Z for you. It was never just, ooh, look, we caught Earl doing this. You know what I mean?
That was me. I would say that. I would try to cover for someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
the TV.
A saint.
I'm
just a goddamn saint, ain't I?
Yeah, who changed the channel?
I'm trying to cover for people. Is it possible that the person who gets one of these reputations as a mad dog or this or that, a fucking crazy, is it possible I'm the nicest person in radio? Or how about this? Underratedly nice person in radio.
I would say absolutely.
I feel like I am based on all the things you say. We're 5 episodes in with Tales from the Satellite, and when you talk about me, I go, "Wow, what a nice thing that was." Because I don't remember shit.
I think a lot of people get into a business like entertainment radio production and go, oh, it's a competition. It's me versus everybody around me. I've got to step on whoever's head to make my way to the top. Whereas you look at it and go, if I make everybody around me better, my job gets a hell of a lot easier and we're going to have a lot more fun.
Oh, I mean, for me, it's just do something for the show. Just do something. Something.
But you definitely help mentor. And I think that's where we see, like I said, the other group kind of fall apart. But before we bring in our guest, we're almost there. I apologize.
So
Thank you for your patience.
bring in our guest. I didn't even know if he was going to show up here, Robert. Well done. That's a producer. That's a producer, Robert.
He beat me, and it was his idea, but it's okay. How did you get into stunts? When do you first remember doing a stunt?
Wouldn't do them.
But you don't walk into radio and start doing stunts. Like, the kid who ate the worm is the kid who always ate the worm.
I never did a stunt before the Ron Fez show.
No way. So you're saying you just were that desperate to do what you could for the show that you started doing stunts on the Ron Fez show?
See, the Opie and Anthony fucking producer mentality might be that. I've brought this up before. I'm going to bring it again. Hold on. Don't fucking cut me off on my own fucking show, you bitch.
Well,
I brought this up before.
This is why I don't bring you in first.
I know, but you keep putting the hand up again with the fucking guy whose fucking life this whole goddamn show is about. So just hold on. I've said this before. The worst radio I ever heard was WFAN when fucking Mike and the Mad Dog on some fucking Christmas, fucking stupid Christmas episode, we're trying to give a sweater to one of their producers. It was simply a Red Sox sweater, and he was a Yankee fan. And for 15 minutes, you had Mike and the Mad Dog fucking negotiating with this fucking 28-year-old fatso bore because he didn't want to wear a Red Sox sweater. It was the most infuriating. It was A, boring, but B, infuriating radio where the producers, I'm like, you won't put on a fucking Red Sox fucking sweater? And we have to hear, come on, my God, put on that sweater.
Oh, come on, it'll be funny for the Yes Network. The Yes Network will love you in the sweater.
Come on. And the guy's like, no, I can't do it. I'm a Yankees fan. It sucked. So the point was, it's not desperation. It's putting the audience and the show first. It's no hesitation to grab the fucking football. The ball has been fumbled. Let Davey Mack pick it up and score a fucking touchdown, and I do every time. There's a big difference between desperation or needing mic time or he needs to be on the... Oh, shut up. It's called not dragging your feet. Thank you.
I get what you're saying, and I was going to just clarify because we still got a ways to go before I bring in Jared. But
bring him in.
What I meant by desperation.
Why he's not in already?
What I meant by desperation, because we literally have like 5 more minutes to try to cover, and I just can't get there. I've been just trying to ask you how you got into stunts on the Ron and Fez show, and we're learning about the fan and Red Sox jerseys.
This is what the fucking show is, stupid. What did that joint hit you the wrong way? If I don't go on fucking tangents, the show will be 16 minutes long, dummy. God damn it.
We got a lot of minutes.
How dare you go off and be entertaining for a minute? What else do you want? I'm all fired up, I guess, because it's Radio Wars.
Yeah, that really wasn't. I was just trying to give you a subtle hint that we got a ways to go. So stunts.
I would do the stunts.
Billy Staples. Let me get into it. Billy Staples was known for stunts. He was something I really enjoyed. It was something I always enjoyed about the Ron and Fez show because there were so many people being stunt boys or I'm the meatball, and it was slapstick. It was stupid, but the way Ron and Fez did stunts and physical bits was out of the box. They made it their own. It was super unique. One of my favorites was they got one of their producers to destroy his own car because he thought he was winning one. Like just stuff you hadn't heard before. Billy Staples really kind of, when he came in, picked up the ball, whether he was doing a stunt for the radio or just a stunt in his life, falling upstairs and whatnot. And then you came in and really just, it was almost like the ABA came into the NBA. You were doing things people didn't think were legal. Like it was outside of the ballpark.
Oh.
And the reason I asked like how you got into it was because it seems like in one of the previous episodes you mentioned that Billy was reaching out and nothing you did was like any of his stunts. It was all your own thing, and so I just assumed kind of you were your whole life you were the guy who was doing stunts.
No, I was not doing stunts. I like I said, my first job 2003 90.5. Then I went to Westwood One, where I worked for the news and traffic department.
Tim Sabian.
And I did that for a while, and then I did get a job right before SiriusXM for 95.9 The Rat, which now I'm doing mornings. But yes, that's when I did the overnights on the weekends or holidays.
Okay.
And I did that, and then I got the job with Ron and Fez. It was never a hot dog. vendor in New York City. I'm afraid to let everyone know.
You didn't inherit that from Billy Staples' mom?
No,
Oh, I
that
thought
was a bit that Ron came up with.
a great
that for
bit.
some reason people still have bought. And I go, I've never sold hot dogs. I like hot dogs, but I've never sold one. Actually, the funny thing is, I just found a picture that I put on Patreon a couple of weeks ago, and I'd forgotten about it. I was 14 years old, and there was this little town fair. And when I was 14, my summer job was working at the butcher block in Spring Lake, New Jersey. I worked for a butcher's. And so they said for the little town fair, go out there with a cart of hot dogs and serve hot dogs to people. So technically, there is a picture of me on this little Patreon thing of me doing the fucking hot dogs. But I was never a professional New York City hot dog vendor. As far as the stunts go, it's very simple. Stunts were a part of radio, have always been a part of radio. Ron Fez did stunts. Bets usually result in stunts. Any kind of bet you want a fun payoff, that's where the stunt happens. And again, I won't dwell on it, but my MO is just do the stunt. Let's
do what needs to be done. I like that.
Have fun.
It's kind of like Goggins, who's going to carry the logs? Dave is. He'll do what you
I'm
need
a
to get done.
go-getter.
But what was your favorite? Because when Opie and Anthony are trying to goad you into it with the gentleman what stunt you did.
Ooh, Robert.
What would you say would be the most biggest? Because this was fresh off of Hot Sauce in the Ass, because that gets brought up a bunch.
I had to go to the hospital for that. I got out.
You also
hot sauce in the ass and
without spoiling too much, you had to go to the hospital during this as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
you go to the hospital a lot.
Oh, I know. That part. I know exactly the part you're going to talk about.
You alone probably up the statistic for job-related injuries in radio. Like you set the metric.
At least 3 trips to the hospital on the run. People question about it. My fucking heart and actually, no one questions it.
No,
not anymore.
I mean, like, is it healthy?
Realize.
Is he going to have a heart attack sometimes?
Right.
But not.
Yeah, three hospitals. Well, yeah, I almost poisoned myself. Okay, my favorite stunt. That's a fucking hard ass question, baby. Okay, so you don't care. Do you count any of the David Blaine stuff as a stunt? Or is that not really a stunt? Bringing Roberto in a tank of water to David Blaine, who was in a giant tank of water.
If David Blaine hadn't signaled to bring you up and like gotten his attention, I would say that was more of a bit than a stunt. But the fact that it became a news thing, that's a stunt.
How about the Letterman thing where Ron had me protest?
Yes, that was
a right-wing idiot.
That is a stunt. That was great.
Because not every stunt is, ass and fucking and, throwing up.
But
I would say right-wing idiot is a stunt because I'm not a right-wing idiot. I'm an idiot probably.
That would be one of my favorites as well.
I'll say the right-wing idiot outside of Letterman was my favorite stunt because the redhead guy from Howard Stern, what's his name? It's funny that a redhead guy refers to another, but I forget. Richard Christie and Sal went to the David Letterman protest that I was, infiltrating with the I'm a right-wing idiot. Yeah. They saw me there and they gave up. Like they were going to do something. I had them and I actually overheard them go, oh shit, it's a crazy Ron Fez guy. All right, let's fucking get out of here.
Dude, that's awesome.
I swear to God, true story. True story. I got Sal and Richard Christie to abandon their fucking thing based on the fact that I was out there.
Sal was like, I got to go do a blackface bit now. But
and then I guess beard porn, even though I just complained about it. The video is funny as fuck.
Some of God's greatest gifts are on there, and it's great. Dave, you weren't supposed to be there, but you loved it. Honestly, the Letterman's one of my favorite, and it leads perfectly into where I wanted to go, which is you have this reputation on the virus at this point. Was it WNEW that you were doing double show duty at?
No, 92.3 K-Rock.
K-Rock, sorry. So at K-Rock at the virus, you're the stunt guy. Dave's the one, you can't touch Dave. Dave's the shit. And out of nowhere, this intern, kind of by default, on the Opie and Anthony show, starts making some waves. And the first thing he does is
piece of shit.
Jim Norton shit into the toilet bowl that was attached to the studio, and nobody from Opie and Anthony would go in there.
Oh my God.
Other than E-Rock. E-Rock would go in and smell it. And literally the buck passed so far down the hill on this bit because, again, you've spent 30 minutes of radio at this point. If there's no payoff, you've just burned 30 minutes of air.
Exactly.
Somebody has to have a plan.
Agreed.
And honestly, talking to this guy, it feels like he may have been manipulated or bullied a little bit into it. But an intern stepped up to save the fucking day.
Who was he?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's not when we're going to bring him in, because the second big thing he did, other than holding up Jim Norton shit and saying big boy made a duty, was He then took a hat full of crap. Again, buck gets passed the whole way down the line. A hat was made. Nobody will do it, Dave. They spent 45 minutes setting up a bit.
There's
45
going to be no
payoff.
that I probably wanted to slit my own throat.
Me too.
I hate the negotiation between host and producer. It's my least favorite radio thing ever. It is one of the few things I will turn off my favorite shows for.
Thank God.
I hate the negotiation.
Thank God you provided that crystal clear example from the fan earlier that I chastised you for. Otherwise, I wouldn't know exactly what you meant, but thank you for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you know him. You love him. He definitely didn't pay me to say he's Dave's best friend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jared from the Davey Mac Sports Network.
Wait, what does he call it?
Jedi Jared.
Ladies and gentlemen, Creampie Jones.
What do you want me to do?
They wanted me to make cumsies.
Cream pie.
She's squeezing his hiney.
Cream pie.
While touching his penis.
Cream
He
pie.
has a full erection.
Cream pie.
Oh my God.
Cream pie.
Sucking my titty.
Cream pie.
I'm such a whore.
Cream
He's
pie.
jerking off on her tit.
Cream pie.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
I think he made the cumsies. He made
Cumsies.
the cumsies. He made
Cumsies.
He made
Cumsies.
the cumsies.
Cream pie. Cream pie.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No. Just say Jared Fishman.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jared. You may know him from Yaddle Chattle. You may know him from Opie and Anthony. You may know him from the East Side Dave Show. But I know him as my good friend. Jared, thank you for joining us, buddy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Jedi Jared from Yaddle Chattle is here. He's in the house, and he is probably what, #1 rival for the Radio Wars?
I suppose.
Okay. I thought you were saying for me because I was like, Dave, I'll take care of this right now. There won't be a rivalry. He just taught me his one choke. I'm good to go.
joke. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Jared, you excited to be here today?
Yes and no. I'm always excited to hang out with the two of you. Not so much excited to relive some of the more humiliating moments in my life. But hey, look, as you said,
We both went through it.
Doing everything for the show.
There you go.
That's why I'm here.
And Jared,
I never thought that we would ever have a guest. This whole show was designed so that it's just Robert's going to pepper me with questions, and we're just going to talk. And but you know what? It just felt like you're here all the time. We have no Yaddle Chattle this week, so we're going to bring you in. All right.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
Okay.
and Jared, I'm aware this is a touchy subject for you. It might be a difficult topic. And unbeknownst to you, a couple of people who were there behind the scenes actually gave comments on this and their opinion. And the resounding thing is exactly what you just said. Like, in hindsight, you stepped up when nobody else would. And that it came across as very entertaining, very funny.
There you go.
In the moment, it might have been for you humiliating and felt that way. But a lot of people who might not speak up but are respected within the entertainment industry said that.
Oh, that's so
At
nice
least
of
like
them. And
4 or 5.
And none of these people would put their name on that comment. None of these fucking cowards would put their name. So these respected fucking people don't want to be attached to you.
There's a positive and a negative to that. The positive, okay, I'm getting support, but at the end of the day, I'm not working in radio.
What is Yaddle Chattle, you son of a bitch? We do the fucking
the #1 Star Wars. I know. 2 points for Rob. The #1 Star Wars podcast.
Incorrect. Fastest rising Star Wars podcast on the internet. Rebel Force Radio's #1, but we are the fastest rising R-rated Star Wars podcast. Very much. That is something to be proud of, my friend.
The way I've looked at a lot of things and my time at the Opie and Anthony show is very much shaped the way I view the world, the way I view work, the way I view treating other people. And that's all nice and fine and good, but at the end of the day, that doesn't pay my bills. That didn't help me get ahead in that profession.
Here we go.
Well, no, I mean, look.
Oh,
Dave,
Jesus.
I
wanted this to be a nostalgic series. I wanted Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite to be a happy trip down memory lane. But here we go. Here comes the fire.
You know what? Bobby, in our pre-production meetings, we kind of talked about the dichotomy, and it very much ties into the theme of the differences, the two different sports teams of a
team of superstars who were all doing their own thing, looking out for themselves, and a team of good, solid players who all rose to the occasion whenever needed.
Gotcha. Like the 98 Yankees didn't have anyone who hit 30 home runs, but they ended up winning 100-something games in the World Series and dominated everybody. So that was an example of a team that just had great players, no megastars, no Barry Bondses and Maguires and that kind of shit. But all they did was fucking rip it apart, have the best Yankee record of all time. So, okay, I understand
versus
that.
like the 2004 A-Rod glove slapping Yankees, where several guys were just out there chasing stats.
You motherfucker. Why'd you have to do that?
Because, Dave, I cried when they called him out. When they called that timeout and all the umpires got together and called A-Rod out. I was that big of a Yankee fan and it broke my heart. But anyway, we are not talking about the Yankees. We're talking about radio wars. Jared, I'm glad you got to the analogy. But, gentlemen, before we go any further, I know we agreed to the rule before the podcast, but I would just like to reiterate that this is a knife.
Okay.
And if anybody violates the all bodily fluids goes in the toilet rule, I will use said knife.
Okay. Fair enough.
Guys, what you did is what they would do to me at a torture camp. If the CIA needed information out of me, they would put me through what you went through. I cannot handle bodily fluids. Listening on the way down, even though it was like the fourth time through, I gagged twice. I have so much respect for you. I do stunts, just not bodily fluid.
Wait, so you almost threw up, and then your next thing was, and I have respect for you for that.
Yeah, because there are very few people who love what they do enough to.
Jared was forced. I was the gamer. Let's not. All
right,
let's
so
call it like it is.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
No, because Dave was right in the sense that like he stepped up because he hated dead air. Right. And I totally understand that from being like a fan standpoint. But for me, you know, I had to mull a lot of that over because, you know,
you were a lowly intern. You were already a maggot. So if they're making you do stuff with shit, it's only enhancing your maggotism. Whereas I can go out there and write a star-studded bit like Guy Garson and Ward Gossip and still be, you know, one of the most creative, greatest people in the history of radio producers, but you're just always going to be a maggot.
Well,
and just real quick, I'm sorry. When you got done doing anything fecal related, the Ron and Fez show then went, yeah, that's our boy. And like, there's a line in there where Ron's like, yeah, our boy ate shit. And Fez was like, and we won? Okay, I'm happy. Like, they rallied around you. It was like, look at what Dave did. And they shaped the narrative for you. But Jared, we're getting into the dynamics of the O&A. You came in as an intern.
Yes.
These bits in particular, I watched, it could be a Mount Olympus-sized hill. The ball rolled down before it landed at your feet. And honestly, you wouldn't let the buck go any further. I know you were forced, but it's truly without that knowledge, if you just listen, you go, holy shit, this guy who's an intern's the man. Like, he stepped up when fucking Sam Roberts wouldn't, Eric wouldn't. I mean, Eric at least went in the bathroom. Everybody else was gagging.
So the situation, now at the end of the day, I did make the conscious decision to go in there, pick up Jim Norton shit because, you know, there was an incentive. However, the entire situation.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the entire situation.
I'm leaning in because I'm interested.
Getting ready to cut a promo on your ass. Watch out.
Radio war. I fucking leaned in 3 inches, and he took that as some fucking weird ass verbal cue that he should stop talking.
That's what happens in Yaddle Chattle.
I know, but Robert's between us.
Okay, fine.
So I can't get physical with you.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Okay,
right, go ahead.
That means something different when we do the Tales from the Satellite.
Go ahead. I want to know.
Being an intern means getting up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to be at the studio at 4:30. You had to be at XM at 4:30 in the morning. And you would pick up the papers, you'd pick up all the bins and shit like that they needed. You'd bring it over to, this is when they were doing the simulcast at K-Rock. You'd bring it over there, you'd set up the studio, all of that intern stuff.
Intern bullshit.
They don't pay you to do that. And my plan living out here in Central Jersey was originally to take the train in from NJ Transit. I had a place to park.
Awful experience.
I had a place to park, so I didn't have to pay for parking in New Brunswick. I could have taken the train in. But unfortunately, there are no trains. That run that time of night or morning from New Brunswick. So it was either park in Jersey City, take the PATH train, or drive in and pay the early bird. So, you know, I had saved a lot of money from all the times I've been working. The internship kind of, at least for me, made it hard to maintain a second job because it's 3 days a week. You're up at the ass
Do you know
crack of
if
John.
SiriusXM pays their interns these days,
Yes.
or does SiriusXM
They do.
still not pay? Yeah, because I think
There was a lawsuit.
It's becoming more and more of a thing where companies are having to pay the
Well, because
interns
there
because
was
it is a little bit bullshitty.
There was a lawsuit with a Howard intern that they were basically using her at some. Correct me if someone will correct me out there. That Robin was using her like as a personal assistant and not paying her.
Yeah, that's insane.
And she sued. There was like class action suit. I think there was a couple of O&A interns that actually did that. And now they have to pay their interns. But I wasn't even looking to get paid. I was just looking for my transportation costs to just be like a stipend for that. That would have been,
Sure, go ahead.
No, but I
understand. I relate.
Yes,
all I'm
I know.
saying.
I know you do.
Go ahead.
But
what's that movie where Tom Hanks has to negotiate a deal over a bridge and everybody's on like the brink of
Bridge
world?
of Spies.
Yeah, that's what this feels
That's
like.
a good one.
We are walking through a minefield in Normandy, gentlemen. I'm just like,
Bridge of Spies. But okay.
But the entire that whole thing of being up before like the transportation, the lack thereof.
Sure.
Are
you going somewhere with this?
I had to take the money because I
not
needed
to
the
New
money.
York. There's not a train there.
I'm just wondering how long we're going to be hearing about
Basically,
your commute. Your commute.
But all of these things set up a
No wonder we
scenario.
had a radio war. Me and you.
But all of these things set up a scenario where $300 looks really fucking good for someone who doesn't have a summer job.
Understand. You were a little piece of shit back
and you're
then.
not getting paid for an internship.
I get it. Yeah, you were.
You're also fighting to keep the dream alive, and you realize the money for transportation's and going to run out at some point. You got to find it, and you can't because you're working 3 days a week. None of the summer places around here want you those. They're all days where you would want people in this. You know, it's a tough situation. I know a guy who was in your spot once. His internship got extended, and he was trying to drive from Hershey every day. And
that's you. You're talking about
made it in
yourself.
a day and a half before he called off. Yeah, it wasn't great. But
Jared,
it starts to become almost like psychological torture because you're getting so little sleep. When you do have the little amount of free time you can't really do anything fun because you're exhausted and you don't have any money. So it becomes a stressful situation. But you were in a position where you needed the money. You're a college student, so you want to go back to school with something in your pocket, right? Even if it's just to go see movies.
But the $300 was just that I was seeing a girl in Syracuse at the time that was that was gas money to go up there.
Yeah.
That was gas money to go back and forth. That was parking.
Can we move on to what the fuck we're going to talk about?
Yeah,
I feel like
sure.
we've spent the last 7 minutes about commuting to New York.
Oh, I lied. This isn't about Radio Wars. It's actually
Jesus Christ. Let's just keep it moving.
So you're in a position of desperation. And
oh my God,
the dynamic is different at Opie and Anthony versus at the Ron and Fez show.
Definitely
At
different.
Opie and Anthony, who was in charge of you? Like,
I guess-
was there a direct boss? Was there a clear chain of command?
I guess technically Sam would have been.
Sam was your boss. You went to Syracuse together.
Well, he was 3 years older than me.
Oh my God, that must have been
He's still a foot and a
humiliating
half
for
shorter,
you, though.
so it's okay.
That must have been humiliating.
I guess technically I got the internship because of him, or maybe.
Oh, so that's a good thing then.
I mean,
So it's a thing again where you've put yourself in a position of vulnerability because you're now working for a guy who
knows you closely and went to college, and he kind of sees you as he's the senior, you're the freshman. He's always going to have that attitude.
you kind of look up to him and go, look, this guy's made headway at this big show. I should be like him. I should listen to him. He's going to look out for me. He helped me get this spot. I got to look good for him.
well, the whole thing is like I knew Sam from college. I had proposed a bit to him, like to be his college like a college radio host having a college intern was the bit I produced.
That's fun.
And
I don't know why you would volunteer for that, but that's fun.
it was just something fun.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
We like each other now.
You produced. Go ahead.
And he just would tell everybody that I was his college intern on a college radio show.
Right.
Because he's an asshole.
I feel like you were liked, though. You were popular among the staff.
Well, I'm a fairly easy person to get along with.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
you complain about driving and commuting every fucking day. I mean, you listen to the last 6 minutes of Davey Max Tales from the Satellite. One.
Okay.
No,
Gentlemen.
Okay. Okay.
So we were
okay.
You're very easy to
likable.
He's pushing.
You're kind of likable.
I'm amiable. I'm easy to get along with.
Yeah, I would.
Somewhat go with the flow. I'm not that.
yeah.
Diva-ish at times.
No.
At times.
We all have our quirks. It's fun when all
Yeah.
of our various tisms sync up.
You
And we're all
think
on
he
the
was
same
easy?
page?
Tales from the Satellite.
Hold on, Robert.
pre-show
Hold on,
meeting.
hold on. You be quiet, small fry, for 2 seconds. He was easy to wrangle in for this episode of episode 5, Davey Max Tales
No,
from the Satellite.
there were some-
It was easier to get fucking Beyonce in this apartment than to get Jared
Wasn't
here.
it my idea to do Radio War?
Yeah, but you wanted to do this entire episode on Zoom.
No. I was willing to do that here.
All right, fine.
That was something else.
Okay,
this was a whole thing.
Go ahead, Robert.
I just wanted, that was more me not wanting to be in the same room as two gentlemen who are around that much shit. I don't know how much you can
was-
shower that off.
15 years ago.
There's some stains you can't
Longer
wipe
than
off.
that, probably. And I'll tell you what. I don't bathe a lot. Okay, I use the fucking pool.
I can
All
tell
right,
you.
I bathe with chlorine.
Chlorine.
Yeah.
I can-
So Robert's right. I got some shit underneath my fingernails to this day, probably.
As opposed to Ron and Fez, where it seemed like whoever was the producer getting yelled at in that moment coincidentally was in charge of the interns, because it was always like, and you suck with the interns too.
I'm gonna boil it down in a nutshell. This is my observation. I can only speak for the Ron Fez point of view, but I believe that this to be accurate. I believe that Ron and Fez always treats the interns like gold, and that the producers, would be challenged. And in Opie and Anthony, for some reason, it was the exact opposite. The producers are treated like gold, and it was the interns who would be the ones to get challenged. Things
Nail
like that.
on the head.
Right. And why that's a problem, with all due respect, is you get a bunch of people, the O&A producers, then having big heads thinking that they're Opie, Anthony, or Jim Norton when they're not nearly as talented. So that was an issue. So I actually prefer the way Ron and Fez handle it, in my opinion. And I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying.
I would.
Yeah, go ahead, Jared.
Go ahead, Jared.
I would say that the Ron and Fez show was very lean and mean, and you guys heavily needed the interns to do. You relied on them because
Right, we
that
only
was from my physical observations. I remember you, Pepper, Pitsy, always running around making sure everything was prepped up. Earl was just out doing nothing.
For a long time it was two.
Yeah,
Me and Earl. Then we added Pitsy. Then Pitsy left and Pepper came.
My
spun
point
the
is
hits.
that you guys needed.
You're right.
You used
Is
the
what I'm saying.
interns. You
I'm
actually
agreeing with
leaned
you.
into
Max
them.
was 3, but most of the time in my tenure, there was only 2 producers, either me with Earl or me with Pepper. And then one time, brief time, it was me, Pepper, and Earl. I mean, me, Earl, and Pitsy.
Yes.
Okay.
And it certainly seemed like Ron and Fez in particular went out of their way to get their interns on the air in a positive light.
Oh, 100%.
All the
That's what
time,
I'm saying.
Prepping them for bits, like making sure the bit was ready to go.
They were very nice to the interns, without a doubt. Are you kidding?
Whereas opposed to Opie and Anthony, most of the interns during Sam's tenure were hired to be made fun of.
Well,
They were hired exclusively to fuck with.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it was O&A, though. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they had
It
nothing to do with
feels
that.
like it was more of the producers
Yes.
of
Oh,
O&A.
I
that
just said
began
a
this whole
specific one.
fucking thing.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, Sam Roberts
So
is who
yes.
I was saying.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just curious. I mean, am I
no,
right or
you're
am I wrong?
100% right, and I think that Sam knew not so much the vulnerability of the.
Oh shit, Robert. He's gonna be. I love this. He's got Sam Roberts flashbacks. No, I'm not telling you to censor those. I'm just preparing myself.
And before you think this is all just an attack on Sam, there are different styles of training people. Like some people are trained through like baptism by fire. I'm going to put you through the ropes, and you're going to learn that way. And I think
a terrible
there
point.
may not have been the mentorship or follow up that you needed in that instance to get it, but
I don't think there really was. I came in knowing that A, I was not going to be working for Opie and Anthony, but B, that it was actually going to be a real learning experience. I wanted to learn actually how to do the production end.
You did?
That's what I wanted to do.
And
I didn't.
So why didn't you?
I did.
So then what are you complaining about?
hang on. I get what Jared's saying. It feels like he was used for stunts when he wanted to learn production.
But he just said he learned production. Why are you fucking not listening to him? He just said he learned production. Who'd you learn production from?
Travis, Danny.
So you learned production. So what's the big deal?
E-Rock. Yeah, there is a big deal because people that are working for free shouldn't be treated like shit.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, just go into it.
No, but
preach,
you
Jared.
really
Hang on,
wanna-
I like this
you
idea
really
about
want me-
people.
I'll
I
go
know.
into
That's
it.
why I said go into it.
I like
Because you're
working
working
for
for
free.
free. You're supposed to be earning college credits. It's supposed to be like we were told by Steve that this was going to be like
Steve who?
the late great Steve Carlisi.
Okay.
God rest his
Executive
soul.
producer of the Opie and Anthony show.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Steve said in our interview, like in my interview, that it's like hazing in a frat house, right? I joined a fraternity. The shit that I got interning in a professional broadcasting environment was way fucking worse than any of the fucking things I did in the social club.
Wait, hold on. Let me tell
I'm
you.
not even talking about sticking my hand in the toilet.
Stop. Steve Carlisi said
It's like
when you join, you're going to be hazed.
Well, no,
he used the word hazed.
It's not hazed, but it's like he said, like in the sense, it's like joining a fraternity.
Okay. So he was okay,
but
and,
having just pledged it yeah.
What's the worst thing you had to do as in a frat?
I also joined a fraternity, and anything you did on air was worse than what I had to do.
Yeah.
But what was the worst thing?
Literally, the worst thing was we had to eat insanely hot wings once.
That's it. Hot wings.
Yes,
I would just not had lunch
that was the
day.
same exact experience. That was the same exact reaction he did when I sent it on special delivery.
Fucking 18 years ago. How does he remember this weird ass shit? I know.
It's
bizarre.
I lucked out, and when I joined, it was a bunch of like normal people joining the nerd frat, and we all just decided we weren't going to do whatever hazing they had in mind, and we're like, no.
My entire pledging experience, not to go on a complete tangent, was actually a lot of fun.
Wow.
It was fun.
Yeah?
It's supposed to be fun. You're not supposed
to... Did you have like a lot of sex with the guys that you were trying out with? Is that why?
No.
A lot of hand jobs with each other?
No.
Sitting in the fucking circle doing the cookies, speaking of pitsy?
During our Hell Week, one of the brothers' sisters moved into the room we were all staying in with us, and she was just a stripper at the strip club up the street, so some of us got laid. Not me, but some of the guys fucked this one dude's sister.
Did you have that experience? Any strippers involved?
No. She wasn't very
Let's
good
have
looking.
a fucking Duke sex scandal from Davey Mack's Tales from the Satellite on the 5th episode.
She was almost like a reverse stripper where you're like, I'll pay you to keep your clothes on, man. Like, I don't want any part of this.
She's what we call a noon stripper.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're really actually going to the club for a burger. Yeah, like you like legitimately for a burger.
Yeah, this place
makes
makes
like the
good
only place
cheesesteaks.
to eat. Yeah,
a brunch stripper, if you will. But we got far from Sam. And the only point I was making when I said I felt like that might be his style is even when he became a host of a show, it still seems like he treats his producers with like the impress me mentality. And there are people.
What does that mean? I don't even know.
So like, I'm not going to show you affection unless if I think you're doing a good job.
Oh.
Like I'm going to make you earn your place.
That's not even that.
But that's again. This isn't that's just my perspective.
Well, then
but
speak to it.
Let's get. Hang on.
Well, wait a second. You brought something up. He has a different perspective. Robert, don't rush us. This is us talking here.
It's not impress me. It's let me see how far I can push this person because I enjoy making them feel pain.
Yeah, and that's
interesting.
That's exactly what it is.
And before, like, we may be skipping ahead to the end a bit, but that's where you, I think, are separate from a lot of people and kind of walk away a winner in this because you did just leave that toxic relationship before he burned you out. Like,
he did. I mean, in reality, he did. And a lot of people like to say they like to use the term Machiavellian with Sam. The truth is that Sam was in a position where no one really gave a shit what he did to the interns. So at one point, he actually threatened it. Like he was like, "I want to hit you with a chair." Like he wanted it. He kept saying, "I really want to bash your head in with a chair."
To who?
To me. He would say this to me.
But like, did you laugh? Because he's like this tall.
I'm like, okay, whatever.
The chair's bigger than you are, Sam.
I mean, you can't take that seriously.
No. But
he's
as
a
an
small
intern,
person. Wait, let me just. He's a small person.
He's also a sociopath.
No, but he's not going to be hitting you with a chair.
No, what he did was like
maybe he was trying to do some sort of wrestling.
No.
There makes no sense. It doesn't make sense.
You didn't have the
say,
same relationship dynamic because
why did he want to hit you with a chair? Did you mess up somehow?
Because he's an asshole.
So he is randomly, Sam Roberts is random, according to you, because I'm not saying it.
I mean, it's not randomly. He's not a good person.
According to you, just said, I want to bash you in the head with a chair.
Yeah. Dude, this is 15 years ago.
But that's homicidal. I wouldn't do that.
If it wasn't that, like, fucking stuck in my mind, why would I bring it up?
Because it's insane. I wouldn't go around. I'm the fucking guy with the reputation of being crazy. And I would not go around telling an intern, I feel like bashing you in the head with a chair today. Like, that's fucking insane.
If you had done that, though, you were the insane guy enough that everybody would know you were joking. Whereas, like, Sam was kind of serious. Like, he wasn't known for being weird and outside the box.
Right?
Maybe.
I was just a lowly fucking intern who happened that Kenny leaned into me to go because I actually was able to get Jim Norton's coffee right or get his breakfast right. Meanwhile, I had a fraternity brother who was interning at GE, and he was like, "They make you get their coffee?"
That is true.
GE.
The other thing to keep in mind here too is you said he was what 3 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
So this is a 23-year-old in charge of a 21-year-old, 20-year-old, something in that range.
Something like that. 24,
Yeah.
21.
There are what 9 at least other producers around, and nobody's stepping in and going like.
Well,
Dave,
because the other producers would fuck with us, but it wasn't like it was dumb shit like Danny would pull his ass out or Travis would throw your like the stack of papers that you were holding down on the floor.
He'd slap him on the ground.
Yeah, he'd slap him on the ground.
That's the hazing. That's what you were expecting. Not
yeah,
the
it wasn't psychological
yeah.
torture.
I gotta tell you, straight up, what a fucking bunch of assholes. If I knew that was going on, I would have said something to those producers.
Did you know that Sam made...
I didn't know any of this,
let me
but
tell you
our
something
fucking,
else.
the Ron and Fez producers wouldn't have fucking hidden papers out of interns' hand, threatened him to hit him in the head with the chair, and and putting their ass out.
And I
gotta fucking tell you, I'm getting fired up now. And all you had to do, dummy, was fucking run to your friend David, I would have had your back.
We weren't friends at the time, A.
Special delivery.
That's his
was
special delivery
before
was
that.
2009, 2010.
this is at least 2 years, but
But did you know that Lily had your intern Lily had Sam go get me her lunch?
No, I did not know
Because
that. That's
Lily,
hysterical.
and I hope this gets back to you, I still think you're a massive cunt.
Jesus Christ, she's a woman. We don't do that, do we? We're calling.
if I had to speak
We're
from
calling balls and fucking strikes here.
I love that line. That's my favorite thing you've ever said in your life.
that was a home run. That was a really good
Time
line.
out, balls. Time out, Mr. Umpire. You can't.
Yeah.
That's funny. You don't see
No,
humor.
no, I don't, because that was on my time. A, that wasn't a show bit. That was just to fuck with me.
That's not Lily. You should be mad at. That should have been Sam.
No, it should be because it's not her fucking. And this is what.
It's funny on Lily's part. It's
No, it's
Sam.
not. Because you know what, Carmelo Bon Jovi, other senior intern who was a little higher up on the totem pole than me, he said,
Carmelo Bon Jovi. What a name. Is this guy a fucking wrestler or something? Is he in the disco?
no.
Is he a dancer or a rapper?
That's a guy.
Yeah, Carmelo.
Carmelo Bon Jovi sounds like a fucking rapper or some shit, like the Gotti. You know?
Yeah. But Carmelo said to me, don't ever if she tries that shit with you ever again, let me know. He's like, no intern
I love this. What's this kid's name? Carmelo what?
Bon Jovi.
Carmelo Bon Jovi.
We should get him on this.
We're a fan.
I'll re-
You know what? I would have done the same thing, because what I would have done is I wouldn't have said something. I wouldn't have been acting the tough guy, but I would have figured a way to put those people in their place. I would have figured a way to embarrass and humiliate them for you, because that's insane.
Before we go any further, can I just change the question real quick? Change the perspective a little bit.
Yes, but when we're on a rant,
This
why
is about
do you
the same
keep
rant.
rushing us? It's
I'm
crazy.
not. I'm trying.
Okay, show host. Just let me say, when we're fucking
Sorry,
fired
Bobby.
up. Go ahead. What's your question?
No. It's just you've gone back and forth making the same point. I was trying to ask a different question on the same lines.
All right,
if
what's
you
the question?
walked in and saw Earl going to Lily, the intern, I want to hit you with a chair, what would your reaction have been?
No, you won't, because that's illegal and you shouldn't be saying that. And in fact, you need to go outside and rethink your career and your life, because if you don't come back from the building with an apology, I'm going to be forced to let Ron and Fez know that you just threatened to hit an intern with a chair. I'm not going to be a rat or a bitch, but I'm not going to also have someone threatening someone with a chair, and I won't talk to the suits. I'll just talk to Ron and Fez and see how they will handle this situation.
And therein lies the difference between Ron and Fez and the Opie and Anthony show. Whereas if I didn't do that stunt, I was damned.
Yeah.
And if I did the stunt, I was damned anyway. It was the ultimate
Damned
Kobayashi
if you
Maru.
do, damned if you don't.
It was a lose-lose.
Which stunt are we
Kobayashi
talking
Maru?
about
It's
in
a Star
particular
Trek
here?
reference.
Kobayashi Maru?
Yes.
Kobayashi's the hot dog eater.
It's a Kobayashi Maru.
Before Chestnut. All right.
He's the one who says it's a trap.
That's Admiral Akbar.
Go ahead.
But the Kobayashi Maru is an exercise in Star Trek to set you into a lose-lose scenario. So the entire Opie and Anthony internship is a lose-lose
It's a Kobayashi Maru. huh?
Yes.
Now that you
Because-
said that, I am familiar with that terminology. I
I
apologize
still
for
have
my
that-
Akbar joke.
I swear I have not heard Kobayashi Maru. I don't know what the fuck
Yes,
you're talking
you were set
about.
up lose-lose because
because-
if you did it, you're that guy who did it.
So not only that, but O&A had a massive staff, whereas, like I said before, you guys were lean and mean. You needed your interns to actually help with production.
Still lean and mean, aren't I, Robert?
Oh,
Still
yeah.
lean and mean?
You just, the way you snapped at me, I'd say even leaner and meaner.
I'm not snapping at you. I'm just passionate on this episode. Everyone fucking relax.
Just real quick before we go any further.
That time he was fucking with me. He knows what I'm talking about. No, because this is great conversation. But then every once in a while I hear Robert go, hold on, guys, shut up. I need to. I'm like, wait, this is gold. All right, no, but you're doing a good job. You're a good guy. See how do I treat you? You started as an intern on the Eastside Dave show. Would you say I was kind to you? Even that's recent.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you? You can be honest.
Yes,
I'll
absolutely.
get another beer. For
If
you.
anything, you didn't treat me like an intern. You treated me like I was a producer of the show from day one. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but like I was an equal. I remember that from like point blank, being ready to go through a hell like you did, and had a guy who was just kind of like show up and be funny. That's all I need.
And now, do you have a producing job in media?
I do. And
thank you.
What would Ron have done if he walked in and saw Earl threatening to hit Lily with a chair?
I mean, you might have hit Earl with the chair.
And if the host of O&A had seen it, it probably would have been a bit on the air making fun of you for letting Sam talk to you that way.
Sam try to hit me with some kind
You're
of
right.
chair.
I was about to say it was going to be an intern. It was a chair hitting contest on air.
Something
Yeah,
stupid
yeah,
like
yeah.
Anyone tried to hit me with a chair? That would be the last time that they would try that on the air.
So therein again lies the difference between, and I've tried to convey this fundamental difference between our positions, especially at this time. You were a paid producer. You were pretty much a very much known entity at this point.
Goddamn straight I was.
Where I was just on the lowest of low. I was one of the newest interns because there was already a hierarchy of interns before you even got to fucking
piece of shit.
A hierarchy of producers
that you had to go through.
Yeah, so like Sean the Butcher,
small,
great guy, had just been hired. Like my first week was his first week as a paid producer. There were so many other interns in the queue waiting in line for an opportunity to get a job.
God damn it.
And you got the job.
No, I didn't get a job.
Well, you got the internship.
But the result...
because the Opie Anthony show was a revolving door of interns. We had 10 interns that summer, and half of them didn't even want to be there because they were supposed to be like, one guy was supposed to intern for the radio chick. And this is right around the time that
the radio chick.
Yeah,
they saw E-Rock and thought he got a sex change.
But the radio chick.
Yes.
That's hysterical. I haven't even thought of her forever.
The intern that was supposed to be with her his name was Noah, and Bon Jovi would call him Noah the girl.
Interesting.
All right. So
but I was laughing because I got what you were getting at now. So basically what you're saying is there's maybe one position coming out of this intern class of 10 on Opie and Anthony.
Not even.
If that. Yeah, there
Not
maybe
even.
if somebody
because
really gets
we had
lucky.
the real king of the interns interning at my 10.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Go ahead.
Did you ever ask them, did you ever say to them, I'll do the internship. How can I get a job in radio? What are you guys going to do to get me my next job? Even if it's not on the Opie and Anthony show. Is someone going to help me get a career at SiriusXM? Did you say any of that?
In retrospect, I probably should have asked that question.
So you didn't?
I didn't.
But that is on you, bro.
Yeah, but...
You got to have that.
I'm 20 years...
Come on.
Hang on. What would you
you
have answered if he asked that question? Real quick. What would your answer to Jared have been?
I'll talk to everyone I know.
Okay, but no, I'm saying like as you're coming in, Jared goes, what should I do during this internship? What things can I do to best give me an opportunity? One of those things
would be... Be
a go-getter. Do whatever you need to do. Get on air as much as possible.
I wouldn't even say get on the air.
I didn't even want to be on air. I had no desire to be on air.
This is what I would say. I would say this. Jared, have a positive attitude. Don't ever drag your feet about anything. Radio happens now, live. Make a decision and be strong with it. And no matter what your viewpoint, go with your fucking decision. No matter whether it's right or wrong, believe in yourself. And just go after it. That's all I would say. And then as a fucking producer, I would say, I'll chat with, I'll make sure that Rob Cross knows that he would like to work at SiriusXM. I'll make sure that this person knows, that person knows. And trust me, people have gotten jobs that way, not necessarily at Ron Fez or O&A, but at the Metal channel, at this channel, at that channel. I would have done that.
And that is why I should have interned at Ron and Fez.
So no one did that for you, but did you ask them?
I asked at one point if I could Steve offered to put me as a reference. I asked Sam if I can put him as a reference.
Right.
I applied to God knows how many jobs at SiriusXM.
Did they say yes?
No. Well, no, for references, yes.
They said yes for the references.
Yes for references.
Yeah. I thought what you thought at first day. I was like, oh shit.
No, Steve's the one who offered it. He's like, if you ever need a reference, put me on your resume. I made the mistake of asking Sam if I could be put on as a reference.
Because he didn't pick up the phone?
Well, he said yes. However, I applied to God knows how many jobs with 2 people as my references on my resume, and I never even got a call for an interview.
Now, one of those people was Sam, so maybe it could have been the opposite.
Well,
where they were just like, we don't want to deal with that shitbag's friend.
And this goes back to stuff that was going on at Special Delivery.
Starring Sam and Dave. That was the show that me and Sam had from 2008 to 2010, in which Jared was the producer. Non-paid, I know. But we didn't have money to pay you. But the point is, you were a producer on that show. You could have had your resume.
Some things never
with that.
change, huh,
Yeah,
Jared?
some things never change. At any rate.
Subscribe, please.
Go ahead. At any rate, what? I'm going to have my second
I
beer.
spoke to Rob Cross.
What? Yeah.
I sent him my resume. I said, hey, look, I've applied to all these positions. And then he made up some bullshit excuse that they're just passing me up. I'm like, dude, I fucking went to Syracuse. Your entire company is a pipeline from SU to SiriusXM. I know so many fucking people.
Who said Rob Cross said they're passing you up?
They're just not.
What does that mean?
That they're just not. They're looking at my resume and moving on.
Wow.
And I had an actually pretty stellar resume at that point. Besides the Opie and Anthony internship and the Special Delivery thing, I had done production intern. I was a production intern at the Syracuse.
That's
affiliate.
shocking to me.
I never got an interview.
For Rob Cross to even say they're looking at your resume, they're just fucking ignoring it. They're throwing it in the garbage can.
Because
I don't think it has anything to do with Steve or Sam. I think that's you being a little paranoid. I think what happened was they weren't interested for some stupid reason, and then you needed to push and get more people.
2 theories that I had about that. One is being affiliated with Opie and Anthony, which was like,
that's not going to prevent you from getting a job at SiriusXM when Opie and Anthony were a huge show at the time. Come on, what's theory number 2? Because that's theory number 1 sinks. Go ahead.
Some things do change.
Go ahead. When they were huge at SiriusXM. Putting them on their resume is not going to be a strike. It would be a compliment. What's number 2? Because theory number 1 is awful.
You know what? No, because in between the time that I was an intern there and Special Delivery, 2 people got hired. So in 5 years,
don't fucking point your goddamn 2 fingers at me. Go ahead. Keep going.
In 2 people I knew, Ryan, the guy with Tourette's, who was a board op for a very brief period of time.
Who the hell is this guy? Go ahead.
He was an O&A intern.
All right. And
then our former producer, Paul. And that was after the fact.
They got jobs?
Yeah. Paul got hired after the fact that, I had mentioned it on air that I basically got blacklisted.
That's amazing. Ron and Fez, Pitsy and Earl got jobs. Pitsy and Pepper got jobs at SiriusXM. Lily got a job in Rochester Radio.
Pitsy.
So that's 3 people.
Pitsy got hired at XM. Pepper.
That's what I'm saying.
No. There's 2 different companies.
I know, Quibbler.
No. Hey, Quibbler! No, it's not a quibble. It's a legit 2 different.
I know, you're so stupid. The fucking point is, I'm trying, but do you understand that what I just said? I'm trying to build your case. I'm saying that Opie and Anthony only got 2 people hired in radio, and Ron and Fez got 3. It's not about what fucking company is, Quibbler. It's about that Ron and Fez got 3 people that just on my time, Pitsy, Pepper, and Lily all got hired. So what I'm saying is I was trying to support your case.
Okay.
Quibbly.
Okay, Quib.
Well, everybody, it seems like the tensions are properly high for us
to finally
get in this radio war. We'll be right back after this hit song from Mr. Sherwin Sleeves.
Let's have a radio war against O&A. I'll put you up against any fucking stunt of anybody on their show. O&A have a rude staff. The producers are always rude to you guys and act like they're above you. And today, like Popeye, you had all your stands and you can't stand us no more. What's happening with Creampie?
Creampie Jones is some fucking new intern. Game on! Game on. Creampie Jones versus Eastside Dave.
I definitely.
Game on! That's right. You want this, Creampie? You're gonna get it, baby. I'm fucking 190 pounds of twisted Irish steel.
Radio Wars
has requested it's Eastside Dave of Ron and Fez versus Creampie Jones of Faux and A of the mayonnaise hat and the trouble DNA.
Radio Wars.
See Dave pick up a Stewie shit. Game on!
Radio Wars.
Are you ready to look at your dream maker? Say you're ready.
Radio Wars.
My boys, Eastside Dave, will shit in that hole and dive in and eat that shit.
I shit and I shut. I shut you fucking down with my shit. Shit and shut.
Radio Wars.
I'm panicking here, I know.
Or we'll play them all. That's right. We are back. And you've heard it, folks. We are in a radio war.
Radio Wars.
So the way the radio war starts, we are at the day the radio war starts. It starts with young Jared, the intern,
Day that shall live in infamy right there.
doing a bit. You were told to lay on a tarp like they were going to shoot or piss on you. And honestly, Opie's hamming it up like, yeah, should he take his shoes off? Yeah, you know, just playing it up
That's
for
what
air.
Opie's good. That's what he's good at. He's good at the tease.
I just like the image of him laying on a tarp for some reason. You sound kind of like a beached whale to me a little bit, or at least in my mind.
I got asthma, dude. Cut me some slack.
And
you laying on a tarp. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right, though. Like, Opie is great at teasing a bit, and a lot of times, knowing a history, the tease led up to something good.
Payoff.
Unfortunately, this time the payoff was him throwing mayo all over you. And
was it him or was it the one of the guys?
It's hard to tell from the audio. It sounds like there were multiple people involved. At one point, Anthony has a classic line where he's like, "Eroc's just mad he didn't get to eat it."
Well, yeah, you gotta understand. I had Danny had given me the intern nickname Creampie Jones.
Jesus Christ!
Because at the time I was seeing a girl who was on birth control, and again involving Carmelo Bon Jovi. We were Bon Jovi and I were talking, and Danny overhears and he goes, "Oh, you give her old cream pie? Give her the old Creampie Jones, motherfucker."
It's fucking disgusting.
And that's
disgusting.
how my previous name was Alternate Reality Biff Tannen.
Of the two, which did you prefer?
Creampie Jones.
I mean, why? Because
my hair
because you look like Biff?
I kind of looked like Biff after like in the
speaking
first.
to the top of the microphone, you freak.
You
Go
know
ahead.
I have that problem.
I know, but I mean, come on now.
But I guess I hadn't had a haircut in a while, and the way I was styling it, I kind of looked like Biff Tannen after George had punched him out.
I've never seen you as Biff ever. I could see you maybe as Kevin McAllister's older brother Buzz in Home Alone.
I usually keep my hair short.
No, but you have more of a Buzz, not a Biff Tannen. Robert,
I see you more as who was Jim Carrey's friend in Dumb and Dumber?
Jeff Daniels.
I see a lot of Jeff Daniels in
Really?
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels, you see with Jeff Daniels is I think considered a handsome man.
Yeah,
not
I meant
that you're
that in a
not.
complimentary
I'm saying,
way, as opposed to, I thought that was nicer than Biff.
I always like to. I kind of look like Brendan Gleeson.
I see you as like a human Grimace, like almost like if Grimace was like made into a Caucasian, a little Jewish man from Central New Jersey. That's what he would look like.
Oh.
You're even wearing purple today.
And then you would give out your Grimace shakes a little differently. But as Dave, as a Ron and Fez guy, do you feel like the mayo was a bit of a ripoff of Al Duke's much better bit? Like,
no,
it's just covering a guy in something he doesn't want to be covered in, and at least Al
Dukes doesn't like mayo, is what you're talking about?
No, there's an infamous bit where he and Billy Staples have a mayo eating contest against each other, and then Al pukes one bite in all over the place.
Oh.
And it just feels like a watered down version because Jared was able to take the mayo.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe not, but I think it's just mayo. I think they
were trying to give me a cream pie or
and make him look like cum.
Yeah.
There was cum on him.
Yeah.
Splooge.
But there are so many creamy things they could have used that wasn't mayo.
Like the inside of a Cadbury egg.
Or just cream. Like milk. Don't they call that cream? Like heavy cream?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like cream.
But mayo does look better because it's gloppy.
It's
so if
thick.
it's gloppy, it sticks in the hair, and then it's like, you got jizz in your fucking hair. You like the something about Mary.
That's
you goddamn dumb idiot.
What does your jizz look like?
My jizz? I mean, it depends. If I'm drinking lots and lots of water, my jizz will be very translucent.
Right, yeah.
Now, when I've noticed
Shooting the
that
proverbial ropes.
when I'm eating Lots. Is that what happens?
Right. When you're hydrated, you're able to shoot a lot further.
And shooting ropes. That's a good thing. I thought you meant shooting blanks for a second. I was going to say it's very clear. The jizz.
Yeah. It's
Is
good.
there sperm though inside the jizz when it's that clear?
Yeah,
because it's like water.
It's probably more diluted.
Yeah,
It is exactly
it's more like glue when I'm hydrated.
If you're a kid who
What?
doesn't know about birthing yet, if there's a lot more diluted, it gives more fluid to swim up the vagina.
Yeah.
And
Now, when I am when I've not eaten well, like I've made my Doritos and cheese and things like that, and the IPAs, somehow my jizz is yellow. Robert.
So, yeah. That'll
And
happen.
I wake up in my bed and it's all yellow and it's wet and it smells like piss.
Oh my
Robert.
I think that's just piss, David.
Oh.
How did we get here? Anyway,
Mayo? We were talking
Mayo in
about
the
a
face.
condiment?
So you got fucked up with mayo by the Opie and Anthony show, you little maggot.
Iraq's favorite condiment.
How did you feel about that, sir?
I was an intern. I was just
No,
doing-
seriously.
No, but I was-
were you like, I'm a part of a radio bit now, or?
Yeah, well, before that, they had me do the uncomfortably close interview with Stalker Patty.
That's funny, though.
It was dumb.
Sounds funny to me.
and you had done the other two big things at this point as
I'd
well.
done whatever they wanted. I was a team player because it was
There you
Opie
go.
and Anthony.
Cheers. Cheers.
Absolutely.
You're cheersing with fucking Coke Zero.
And
You
I have
just
to
fucking I
drive.
know, but you've lessened the cool points. People aren't watching it, but he's been smoking joint after joint. I got fucking IPAs galore, and we're fucking cheersing with Coke Zero. God damn you. Shit, watch out. Watch out for the equipment too.
my $1,000 computer.
Why don't you
I'm just
guys
kidding.
stretch while I get something to wipe it down?
There's nothing.
Yeah, go ahead and grab something, Jared. But while we're doing that,
Get some toilet paper for the bathroom.
were you aware of what was going to happen this day, Dave?
No, I was not, Robert. Excellent question.
Now, they make several references, they being Opie and Anthony, that Ron and Fez are looking for a radio war.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
don't think that was
they want it
necessarily the case,
between
but you know,
and him, they said something about like the Jerk Off of the Year award, and like they're playing it up. But the real question is, so it wasn't planned on your part?
I don't think it was planned by Ron and Fez, but I also don't think we were, afraid of engaging or participating or just having a fun crossover experience. Like it was just a fun crossover experience.
Yeah.
I wish I had a little help from Earl Douglas. I wish I wasn't the goddamn one-man band in this fucking war. I didn't see goddamn Patton in that fucking movie out there, just doing everything by himself. He did actually have tanks and airplanes and other people around him, but apparently I was a one-man war.
It was just you,
Charlie
huh?
Wilson's war over here.
So, I want to play this clip, Jared, real quick.
Let's go
While
down
I
memory lane.
cue it up, was this planned on your part that you were going to use this mayo bit to launch a war?
No.
Okay.
No.
And the reason I asked
They
is,
wouldn't include me in the bit. Are you kidding me? That was half the fun for them.
that's fair as well. But the reason I ask is Opie, after you do the mayo bit, comes off very arrogant and is like kind of going right at you, Dave. So let's take a...
Let me ask, isn't this the point where he's like, I W Creampie Jones or something like that? It was almost being
Well,
like,
let's listen to the bit. He's about to play the bit.
I think, no, he has you say your line right before it, and then he
okay.
goes into this right here.
All right, let's listen to this clip.
There goes Creampie Jones.
He will do anything. Amazing.
Let's see what Ron and Fez got. See what we did? See what we did today?
It's gotta be, oh, everybody's just going, ew out there.
Let's see what Ron and Fez have. That's
Yeah.
what we do. And I'm not taking this competition lightly. Let me tell you something, Ron and Fez.
Mm-hmm.
We put shit on our Jared's head yesterday.
All right. See, that's
That
something
trumps-
people are
That
forgetting.
trumps hot sauce in the asshole. That trumps hot sauce in the asshole.
Dude, he picked up a load of shit that Jimmy sprayed out of his ass that looked like Dinty Moore's beef stew and picked it up with his hands.
That's right.
Right out of the toilet.
Why are we just casually giving it to Dave? I didn't see Dave put shit on his head.
Not shit.
I didn't see him pick up a Stewie shit.
Absolutely.
Game on!
Game on. Game on.
Creampie Jones versus Eastside Dave.
I definitely.
Game on! That's right.
That's right.
can I say something that I've never told anyone before?
What?
Sure.
So during the whole, the second one, the actual duty hat, where Jim Norton took a shit on E-Rock's hat because he didn't like E-Rock's hat or something like that. I put my hand in the toilet and flipped the shit out.
Oh my God. So
sleight
you
of
never
hand.
put shit on your head?
No, fuck that shit.
Oh my God. That's the revelation of all time. You never wore a little shit hat.
No.
Wow. Now, see, even I am surprised. I got
That's-
to tell you, I'm actually surprised by that. I was convinced you wore duty on your head.
No, he took a little shit and I just like flipped it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. If only that's huge news.
I didn't know
I've
that.
never said anything
I
to
never
anybody.
knew
I've
that.
kept that
you
to myself
piece
forever.
Of shit. Literally.
And Dave,
Plenty of pun intended.
Okay.
if only somebody had taken Jared under their radio wing, they could have taught him to put that reveal at the end of the episode.
No, that
it's
was
not
perfect.
getting better than that, folks. That's Tales from the Satellite.
No,
I'm
come
just
on,
kidding.
come on.
That's huge, dude. That was groundbreaking news. I didn't know we were gonna have.
That was
Well,
fantastic.
after the actually putting my hand and picking up Jim Norton's shit, I was like,
I'm not putting it on my head.
I've already killed any opportunity to work for this
Now,
company.
here's the issue I have, though, with what you guys did, okay? You followed shit up with mayo. In terms of a radio war, that was fucking nothing. That's like following up an atom bomb with some guy with a grenade still, you know, if any of you are still out there, I'm going to throw this grenade at you. You can't follow up a shit at with fucking goddamn mayonnaise.
Well,
I'm so glad you asked this, Dave, because I have a question for you. Why was Opie looking for a radio war? If you listen to that clip,
why do you think box
Opie-
office gold over here? It's a chance for the Dave for the Dave man.
I think the more important question
was
why was an intern going up against the producer?
well, because none of the fucking interns had the balls to go up against me.
None of the producers.
All right, none of the producers of Opie and Anthony had the balls to go up against me because they know flat out that because we were both paid, A, they can't do anything physical with me. Fucking someone tries to do someone for any of those guys on that staff try to kick me in the balls. Try to fucking hit me with a chair, try to fucking tell me that they're going to try to threaten me, I would fucking end their life. I would have. A. B, and I'll still end their life. B, what was the fucking question? What did he say?
I don't even remember.
it was, why would an intern have to go?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It shouldn't be an intern versus producer. It
I'll
should
tell
be
you
producer
why.
versus
I'll tell you
producer.
why. Because on that, at that time, and really for the remainder of my time at SiriusXM, I was fucking white hot. The fucking fire. So quite frankly, there's a chance trying to get the Davey Mac rub.
A little lightning in a bottle.
If you have a radio war with Davey Mac, then Davey Mac's going to now be appearing on your show. Instant fucking admission that Eastside Dave is the best producer on both shows in the entire network because they wanted me on their show, and that's how you get the Davey Mac rub on O&A. Bam! You know that's fucking true, by the way.
Is it just that though? Because if you listen to the clip, Opie's taking shots at all your accomplishments.
I didn't hear a lot of shots. You're trying to put words in Opie's mouth.
He's the one who's like, that beats hot sauce in the ass.
It's mild.
That
He's
beats this.
doing wrestling promos.
But it's all about you, whereas Anthony's hyping up what you did, where he's like, look at how good our guy is. And then 5 seconds after that
Good
clip
cop,
I played,
bad
I didn't
cop.
clip it. Opie's in there talking about getting flicked off by cam girls and things like that along the way. And it felt like might have been an underlying motivation to take a shot at you. I just didn't know.
I don't think so. I think it
this
was
is the midst of the.
All right. Well, I understand. Let me answer your fucking question. I think Opie was doing a little bit of a wrestling promo, and I didn't take it personally in any way, shape, or form. In fact, when I hear that clip, I don't hear anything.
Okay.
At all. I hear total wrestling.
We have that. Just keep.
Yeah.
We'll see how that stance changes throughout this when certain other things happen.
Well,
and
okay.
other
If I get
topics
fired up, I'm going to get fired
brought
up. But that
up.
clip,
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
very benign for me, at least.
All right.
I didn't feel offended in any way, shape, or form.
While the Opie and Anthony, mainly Opie, are fired up about a radio war, the callers aren't quite so sure that it's time to crown Jared the new king. And you can hear that best with Anthony's statement here.
Dave getting raves though. Oh no! Dave gets tattoos for the show. Boy. Puts hot sauce in his anus. Oh boy! It's true. Oh boy! This guy wouldn't last 5 minutes against Dave. No. I think we got to train him a little more before he goes against the likes of Dave.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Dave is a champ and a pro.
Well, Jared is in training officially.
Yeah.
So no radio war's been agreed to yet. But Jared, you're in training. And
training?
Whatever that means.
Oh, well, I know what that means, Jared. If you were curious, I'm glad because
I've repressed so much of this.
Opie was like, let's do a montage, and just did push-ups. And Anthony just very sarcastically goes, maybe if that was into like a plate full of shit, that would help. But that's just physical challenge.
So is that the training?
That was the training montage. Dave, so they brought up a couple of things.
Yeah.
It seems like Anthony really has your back throughout this.
Absolutely.
The whole time. He's not taking shots at you during the promo like we just mentioned. And right away, he's the one who points out, look, everybody in the chat room's going crazy. He might be trying to let you off the hook a little bit too, Jared, by going, hey, we got to get this guy some training before he goes up against Eastside Dave, making the same point.
The Legend Killer.
And I don't know if I have this exact clip. He uses the exact words you used, where he's like, "You're an intern going up against their best producer.
You're an intern. You're a little fucking high school kid going up against Michael Jordan in a dunk contest. You got no chance. But none.
And not LeBron either.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, the only LeBron thing about this podcast is my hairline.
Yeah, you're not even Bronny, his son. You're like one of his like little friends in fucking where that Ohio shithole. Where is he from? Akron.
Akron.
Yeah, because you were from Ohio originally.
I have family from Ohio,
but he's not from Cleveland. He's from Akron.
Akron. Yeah.
And isn't that supposed to be some kind of shithole?
It's not nice. It is
That's
not
where the
nice.
Black Keys are
That's
from.
who you are. You're one of his Akron friends. I'm
Actually-
Michael Jordan, and you're like an Akron
You know what?
stooge.
I want to give you a compliment, Jared. You're more like Dwayne Wade's son.
Dwayne Wade's son has been. It's made into a lady these days, so that's
It was
what
just
that
a
was the
joke for
joke.
Dave.
That was
It
the
wasn't-
joke.
There's
he
no
made.
actual comparison
No.
there.
But hey, cheers, baby, because that was good. That was funny to me. He called you a fucking asshole right there.
So the callers brought up a lot of bits that honestly, Dave, were kind of painful for you. The hot sauce in the asshole, the tattoo.
I won't dwell on it because I would assume, or I mean, maybe I won't assume, but maybe we'll revisit it later. So I'll just say this: the hot sauce was very legit. I didn't ever sign up for the hot sauce being poured in my ass or on my dick hole. In fact, the whole hot sauce thing was just wild insanity that I never did sign up for. And Jay Moore grabbed some fucking hot sauce and poured hot sauce in my asshole and dick hole.
And he should reply back to
because the whole
Instagram
fucking
messages.
thing went totally crazy. Well, he's too busy fucking marrying Jeannie Buss and getting all the goddamn Lakers money. He's gonna be the new fucking Jerry West. This fucking guy. He can't get a fucking text message back to the Dave man. By the way, Robert, I did ask him to appear on the Davey Max Sports program a few weeks ago. Robert, I do have his cell phone in my phone, and guess what? Guess who's on a fucking cold list, Robert? Me with Jay Moore. So you know what, Jay? You're on the Shizer list, but that's a different show.
Yeah, we don't have the keyboard.
Point is, he put the hot sauce in the dick hole and asshole, and I had to go to the hospital because of it. It was the most pain I've ever had.
The most?
Ever.
So with
I've
that,
had a broken foot. My brother drove over my foot with a fucking van because he was pissed off that I beat his score in this Nintendo game.
well, you
So he
should have
drove
let him
over-
win.
I've had broken hands. I had an ACL because I hit a ground ball to first base, and the first baseman ran across the base. And when you do that, you go into the baseline.
You don't do that.
The runner, and because I play first base, I know first base etiquette. The runner is going to run through the bag. So if you're a first baseman running through the bag, guess what's going to happen? You're both going to collide. ACL. There was no pain I've ever had that was worse than hot sauce and the dick hole and anus.
So least favorite stunt?
That's the least favorite.
That's
right
what I was
there.
going
Yeah.
to ask. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that was awful. Awful.
We got into that. Now, Jared, you said this wasn't a bit, and this is the first time you can kind of see that like older frat brother manipulation into goading you into cutting a promo on Dave. And 2 promos get cut during this little series, and I'd like to listen to the first one.
Better be careful.
Because I
Where's
have
that
an
knife?
idea.
Am I going to pick up that knife?
We put it away.
Shit.
What shit is or pisses for
Because
pussies?
I can
and
feel
all that shit.
I can feel myself about to get fired up at you. I'm gonna fucking take this bottle and smash that straw hat
that,
off.
Dave has done, like, hot sauce in the asshole. Who hasn't done that?
Yeah, who hasn't?
On a lonely Friday night.
Hey, put a little on a cock.
You put shit on your head, my friend.
That's right. Who else has done duty hat? I've never heard anyone
Now
do duty
call
hat.
out Eastside Dave right now.
Hot sauce is old hat in radio.
Pie, cream pie, cream pie, cream pie.
Peer pressure.
Cream pie. Like a wrestler. Let's go.
Let's do it.
They like that wrestling shit over there. Let's go.
Come on.
Let's go.
Big talk smack. Make like Dave is right here. Talk to him. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm Creampie Jones, motherfucker. What? Bring it. Oh yeah, brother.
Can you improv it all and yell at
Again.
Dave and say how you're gonna kick his ass and you're the guy that can do any stunt and you're an idiot. Yeah, just go to it. Look right in that camera and give him shit. And we'll send the tape over to him as a challenge.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm not much of a shit talker.
Well, yeah, wear shit though. Very well, I might add.
Jesus.
All right, you know what?
Shit's the new black.
I want you to fucking bring it. Because when you see this face, you're going to see the bigger moron. All right? I want you to fucking bring it. Because you're going down. Way down, buddy.
Buddy. You don't know how to talk smack. Dave would rip you apart in the smack talk contest. Because Dave...
Who do you think you're fucking with? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Now we're talking.
See? Come on. That's the attitude we need.
And by the way, Kenny is Creampie Jones's manager.
Oh, you're managing?
What do you think of them apples?
So give him...
I hear ya. Yeah, come on, Kenny. Help us out.
Give him some lines. Whisper some lines in his ears. Because you're his manager.
Yeah, let's go.
I've got the cock the size of Kansas.
Wow. All right,
What
very
the-
good.
And I know how to use it.
I guess we could edit this.
Yeah.
I'm going to choke you with my cock, bitch.
Wow.
All right, very good.
Now, what do you think of him? What do you think of him and his stunt prowess?
Oh, no.
He's got nothing. He's got no game whatsoever.
You're not yelling.
Yeah. Hold character for longer than 2 seconds.
You're fucking ginger.
Oh, calling him
I'm
ginger.
going to whoop your ass as red as your hair.
Whoa.
You
man.
gotta go with what you've done. You know, you gotta brag about the fact that you had shit on your head. All right?
Fuck else wore a shit hat.
That's right.
I've had Jim Norton shit in my hand.
That's right.
I've just been
man.
cream pie by mayo.
That's right.
Bring it.
Wow.
Because I'm
Cream Pie Jones, motherfucker. What?
All
okay.
right, first of all, I feel like choking you with this microphone cord right now. You call me a slur? The G word?
Gentlemen?
He called me the G word. That was the crazy at 2007s, where people could get you away with that kind of fucking language, baby. Not anymore. I'll take this goddamn cord.
Stay on your half of the table. I'll send you to your corner. I'll send you to your corner.
Thing will be like Goodfellas. I'll be in the.
I mean,
you'll be like that fucking.
They were again expecting an intern to be able to do.
That was the point I wanted to bring up. So I'll throw it to you in 1 second just to see if I nail this. But Dave, we all have a good friend. I would include him as one of yours as well, Jared. Andrew Gold.
Yes.
One of our favorite people around.
Yes.
I have seen Andrew Gold in situations where you think he wouldn't be as quick-witted as he's coming across.
No, until I wrote him lines
Okay,
on
I didn't know
index
if
cards.
we were breaking the kayfabe there. Yes, and that was one of those Kobe things. Occasionally, if he was on a show and you weren't around, I would get your okay to write a joke or two for him.
Sure.
But
they're doing a little of that with Jared?
Yes.
But they weren't originally. Who came running to Jared's aid?
That was Club Soda Kenny, right?
Club Soda Kenny came to help you out because he liked you because you could get coffee. Not the producer.
Well, no.
Not one of the show hosts.
In fairness, I'm almost certain Danny was writing my lines for me.
Oh, okay.
Danny was writing some lines for me.
I don't know about that.
No.
I heard Kenny's voice on that fucking clip Robert just played.
I think Kenny and Danny were both writing lines for me.
Okay.
Kenny said the lines. We heard it on the radio.
Yeah,
we just heard it on the clip.
We heard Kenny's lines and they weren't great. It did seem like there might have been
someone writing lines for me. I remember reading lines.
You're admitting that
Yeah.
Danny wrote lines for you.
Well, again, it was an intern. This was his first summer interning. I wasn't looking to be the comedy guy. I was looking to be the behind the scenes guy. I wasn't looking to be a Dave.
Behind the scenes with what?
I was looking to be more like Derek.
He wanted to learn how to do the audio cut
I
stuff
still
together.
don't know what
mix
Derek
levels.
did. Why do you want to be that guy? Who the hell knows who Derek is and what he
Derek
does?
worked in an office, got paid, and did his shit and went home.
And it's the one set of skills we could use to take you to the next level right now, what Derek did. That's literally the one thing missing from taking us to greatness.
I don't know. I still don't know what Derek did. I actually have forgotten that guy. Like, that is the first time I've thought, like, the name Derek. I'm not sure I even remember what he looks like anymore.
They all left Derek alone. Derek had his little booth where he was cutting sweet.
So that's what you wanted to be. Left alone, Derek.
I didn't want to be I wanted to be the guy that was supporting you.
You know who doesn't get fired when a station turns over is the guy who's doing all the bumpers and stingers because he can do that for anybody. So it is security. I get where you're coming from.
I guess so.
I wanted to learn all the technical stuff. Like
why? You don't have a passion for that. When we do Yaddle Chattle, you don't even do show prep or do like any fucking emails or anything.
15 years after being completely fucking jaded and ran out of the industry. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you want to be behind the scenes when we do our Star Wars podcast. You don't do shit. I do everything behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes when I was 20. I am 36 years old now.
Wait.
Times have changed.
How old are you?
36.
Jesus.
That was 16
fucking
years
grandpa
ago.
over here.
16 years ago, dude.
God damn, I know. That's pathetic, man. I'm 45. How'd that happen? Now that I think about it, I'm mocking your age, but I'm 45.
I'm
Holy
30
shit.
and need new friends.
You're 30?
31.
God bless you, youngin'.
Anyway, it's so telling. Like, they didn't prepare you. Even if, as an intern who wanted to work behind the scenes, if they went the night before and said, hey, we're going to do this bit, and then we want you to cut a wrestling promo on Dave, you would have come in with more than what we heard.
The only time they gave me the opportunity to come up with something was like the crescendo. And it's like, that's when you should be
into the microphone.
That's when you should be leaning into your producers to come up with the crescendo.
Maybe they didn't give him a good job because he looks like an extra from Weekend at Bernie's.
So all the more reason where a guy like you would step in and be like, okay, we're going to make you look like a rock star because it'll make it look even better when I make you look good. You're the type of guy who goes, I make everybody around me better. Like,
That's me, baby.
It makes me more powerful. I'm going to bring in this half-retarded guy from Hershey.
I'm really
and
such
let him
a
produce
great-
my shows and
Thank
just
you.
show how great I am.
I know.
Right? Like,
that's who I am, Robert.
And
here's the thing. I don't look like an extra from A Weekend at Bernie's.
But even
I thought the line though the first time was worthy
Great.
of a chuckle.
Great. I was
It's just you Robert's going right into whatever he wants to talk about.
I'm trying to keep this on the. That's on me.
Just
That's on me.
interact with me sometimes. God bless you.
You want to make out? Is that how you want to interact?
Just
baby?
go. Just go.
Come here,
What-
Daddy. I'll do the
what's next?
I'll do the gay stunts. I won't do the fecal matter though.
So we got the
That's just my
fucking
hobby.
shit.
Fine with me.
So, but again, even it's all the way from the top down. Like, Ron wouldn't let his show be embarrassed by having an intern be bad, unless if he was trying to teach the intern a lesson on air. You know what I mean? Like, it's a top down mentality.
There wasn't a lesson. There wasn't like a lesson plan.
Yeah,
it was
like,
just
they just hung you out to dry because they didn't have anything prepared for the day.
Well,
much like you now, they refuse to do prep.
No, that's not true.
That's
not true. I saw pages and pages of show prep for that show.
I meant the prep.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a lot of prep they just threw out the window. we did a sports sheet every day. They never looked at it.
I remember seeing all those pages and pages and pages, and there was like charts. It was good looking prep.
Travis made the prep sheets every week of like, hey, this is ongoing stories, big things in the news. They each got newspapers.
Charts and things.
Yeah.
Most of it were in the garbage.
No, exactly. And I'll be honest,
I think that attests to some of their genius because sometimes they'd come up with incredible bits, even though they had all this other prep in front of them. They were able to elevate it even higher.
I mean, welcome to radio. I mean, with all due respect, if you do a good show, you come in with show prep. Something might happen on the show and you run with it. It's not like, well, we can't devote so much time with this because it's not on the show prep.
No,
it's, oh, fuck, we've just stumbled into some gold here and let's do that. And so some things get elbowed off the show prep. Trust me, that happens all the time. And that can be bits, that can be sketches. You know, people can write something and they were expecting their bit to get on and, oh, shit, we couldn't do that because we had this fucking great thing with these people.
And then Dave has to make a midnight call and be like, I'm sorry, Rob. I know you put a lot of effort into that. We'll work it in next show.
Over here. Goddamn,
stop saying you're going to kill yourself.
Never bump one of Robert's sketches off of a show ever. He so takes it personally. Meanwhile, we could literally have like a hostage situation going on where like three guys have like fucking axes up to fucking people's heads. And it's the most fascinating, captivating shit you'll ever see. And Robert's like, how come my clown sketch didn't get in?
Oh, it's never
What
that.
happened? I was like, well,
It's never that simple.
there
David.
was nearly
It's usually-
a jihad on the show, Robert. I think we wanted to go with the almost online beheading jihad video. That
Right. I get the jihad, Dave, but it just feels like there was room to cut something other than my bit.
No.
And let me ask you this: where do you think you get off? Okay, you know how much I drop. It's never just as simple as that. It's always this whole
shut
story.
up, Robert. Fucking, this is the Davey Max Tales from the Satellite.
Just trying to take some of the heat off of you fellas. That said, Jared, you've been at this for a while, and today you could cut a much better promo with no
Probably.
prep than you could then. And honestly,
Barely.
I'd like to see what you got.
Go ahead.
Now you're putting me on the spot, eh?
He said that.
Call me Kumia.
He said that. Exact same
You look
thing.
here, you redheaded piece of shit.
Oh.
I'm going to shove my foot so far up your ass, you're going to spit out my orange fucking Crocs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And then, I'm going to cream pie in your asshole while I say I'm Creampie Jones, motherfucker.
Is this sexy talk? Like, is this like Pornhub dirty talk, or is this a wrestling
I'm
promo?
cutting a fucking promo here,
Well,
pal.
it sounds like sexy time.
Hey, Ginger.
It sounds like sexy time.
Hey.
Listen to.
When you have a soul.
When do I get to respond?
When you have a soul, we can talk.
When's my time?
I'm pulling my ear, Dave. I'm pulling my ear.
Now it's my time. Listen to me, you little straw hat wearing maggot. Okay? I have saved your life multiple times. Multiple times. And you know that to be true. I ain't talking about financially. I'm talking emotionally. I make you a star. I make everyone a star. And that includes you. I make this person a star and that person a star. So listen up, you little ingrate. If there's no Eastside Dave, there's no Jared, because there ain't no radio wall without the Dave, man. Boom, Skippy, done and done, mic drop. But Robert's microphones are expensive, so I'm just going to drop it like low to the ground right now.
Actually, we give you a specifically cheap one because you're so loud, Dave. You could drop it.
I wanted to drop. I for the record, I dropped it.
Do I get to retort?
No, it's over.
it's
Let's
not a
get on to
debate.
the next topic.
Honestly,
you fucking
great
dork.
promos by the both of you.
Thank you. I won that
Mine
round.
would be something like, Davey Mac, I've got your family tied up at the
Do it on
apartment.
him. Do
Jared
it on him.
Fish, smelling motherfucker, t-shirt, Jimmy Buffett looking mass. I don't know. I got nothing.
No,
I'm a
yeah.
lover, not
Nothing.
a fighter.
Yeah, I know.
I've reiterated that with my Guinness.
Oh,
and
jeez.
Dave, much like Jared's promo, you were chomping at the bit to give a response. Unlike a lot of the producers, you listened to the other shows happening at the time on your station, and you heard young Jared be goaded into his either Danny or Club Soda Kenny written jokes, and you called in.
I think
and
they both did it.
Called in.
Yes.
Called in.
Wow.
And thankfully, you were
What a
setting
hero.
up. You were setting up the other studio, so there were people from the O&A staff there already, like Mars, who you pointed out isn't really an O&A engineer, but they like to consider him one. And when you said that,
Oh, Marcelino.
exactly, Ron was like, "Oh no, Dave. Let's be honest. He considers himself their engineer. He's done nothing for this fucking show."
Right. So this is when you guys. So when O&A were doing the mornings at 92.3, even though we were on SiriusXM.
You were
Right.
double. Yeah, there was
And
the
then,
double.
and then it would go into Ron and Fez, and then we also did 92.3, but we did a totally separate, unique show from 6 to 9.
I
That
think
night, yeah.
I don't.
So we actually did double
And
duty.
that
Where
was-
they
I
were
don't know.
simulcast.
I don't know if you guys were doing double duty at that point. I think that
Probably.
that's when they switched back to K-Rock. They stopped doing the
No,
talk
no, no, no,
format.
no, 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 bro! Don't tell me the fucking what I
It
know
was
about my goddamn
2007.
career.
It was 2007.
If O&A was there, we were there.
And-
Shortly
and
after.
You were particularly lucky because when you were let go from the Ron and Fez show for a period, you were still allowed to work on the other radio station at night. So you were able to do the 6 to 9 show,
I
so
was
you still were
fired
getting a
from
paycheck.
XM satellite radio, but I could work at
Voted off the
92.3.
show.
Some
Yeah,
mask
yeah, yeah.
wearing, cowboy hat wearing fucking moron, luchador, took my spot temporarily, but that's a different
So-
episode.
We heard the call and response, and I'd kind of like to hear what it was like back in the day. What do you say?
Yeah, please.
I gotta wake up. I have to wake up and listen to this motherfucker talk shit about me. Now, Creampie Jones, you understand one thing. I am the fucking stunt master, and on the Ron Fez radio show today, I will prove it by a triple threat motherfucking trifecta combination of a Royale with cheese, sharp and tacky things in the rear, and then I've asked the boys to find a picture of you so that I can fucking piss on it and eat your fucking picture, Cream Pie. I will fucking eat your urine-soaked picture, and if you want to piss on your picture, you come over here and piss on it, and I'll fucking eat that too. You want to fuck with me, Cream Pie? Or you can fucking piss in my eye.
I'm scared! Oh my god! A giant redhead coming after me!
I am coming over there right now. You can fucking piss in my eye if you're such a man.
Can I still do that?
I offered for him to piss in my eyes. That's how hardcore I was, and I would have done it if
I know there were plenty of pee in the butts, pee in the faces.
Would you have taken it up? Would you have taken me up on pissing in my eyeballs?
Well, I would have gotten the eye look from Sam and had no choice but to have to do it.
So you would have done it?
I would have had no choice.
Under your own volition, would you have done it? Don't worry about what other people would have told you. Would you have signed up to piss in my eyes?
No, because I'm not that kind of person. I was forced to become that
Someone
person.
offers me I can piss in their eyes, I'm doing it.
But
Just for that
I didn't
experience
hate
that
you.
I can say I pissed in someone's eyeballs. I would have to.
You had already done the heel turn. Or the baby face turn.
It was a baby face there, and you were the baby face at this point.
Was I?
Yeah.
That
And
doesn't
this-
sound like a baby face to me.
And
someone should have told the person on the phone to act like a baby face. That sounded like a straight up
No,
heel.
but in the Ron and Fez thing, you had already done the baby face turn.
You know, I'm not. Yeah, a fucking tiger can't change its stripes, or however the fucking phrase goes. Go ahead, Robert.
It is kind of funny how if we just CGI'd you like the new Indiana Jones, we could have just had that same argument 16 years later. You guys
I
hit
look
the same
exactly
points.
the same.
Ginger Redhead. Actually, you look better. You've lost a lot of weight. This
Thank
was
you.
after the biggest gainer challenge.
Thank you.
Was
Thank
it really?
you.
Yes, it was.
Jared, you look pretty good too.
Jared,
No, I
you
put
look,
on too much weight.
but there's a reason for that. You've got much more going on now than just
I
radio.
tore my meniscus. And if you want to talk about fucking pain, that was the worst.
If you want to talk about fucking pain, come to my bedroom.
Okay.
That was awful.
Just because I talk the whole time. I'm really annoying. Like, you know that they know where Atlantis is and they just won't tell us?
Okay.
You know,
Anyway.
you know what also would have been nice? If
What?
someone had pulled me aside and been like, hey, look, this is what we're going to be doing. This is kind of what we have planned. Like, you know, there's a lot
No
more.
one knew. No one knew.
Well,
I
they
know, but-
actually did something similar to that, Dave.
Yeah,
which
but
is,
sometimes people don't know the direction.
No, I
and-
understand
and,
that,
You know,
but-
something just begins. It's a radio war. And it's, you know, we're going to do this day by day. It's like a real war. Dude, is everything planned out?
Yes.
Whoa.
Most wars are fake.
Vietnam was planned out. 'Cause I mean, if that was planned out, it didn't seem like it was that great of a plan. I mean, I don't want to get political. Anyway, what were you about to say?
No, I want to hear your thoughts on Vietnam. Continue.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, the fact that Nixon bombed all those people on Christmas Eve was really bad. But
You know
go
what's
ahead.
amazing?
I mean, you're Jewish, but I was offended, Jared.
Oh, okay.
It's a little rough. And you know what's amazing is they came back. Although in Nixon's defense, we wouldn't have a country if George Washington hadn't crossed the Delaware on Christmas Eve and killed a bunch of British people
That's
Christmas
true.
morning.
You know what, George? Minus 2 points for that. He
Whoa.
should have waited for December 26th for that
Ooh,
shit.
who would have thought the biggest controversy of the episode wasn't the hat? It was Dave taking 2 points from George Washington.
Whoa.
Christmas Eve is even more special to me than Christmas. I like the magic of Christmas Eve anyway. This is very tangential
Yeah,
now.
we're on Christmas Eve,
Okay.
and Jared doesn't even believe.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean, yeah, I do know. That's why I said
The
it.
Jewish stuff.
But
Nothing wrong with
what
that.
happens next is something similar to somebody pulling you aside and telling you what's going to happen, and that's Opie takes over the negotiations on your behalf without confirming what you feel comfortable with at all, and tells Dave, "Oh yeah, Dave. Well, this guy had shit on his head," and you go, "Shit on his head? I ate dog shit," or something along those lines.
Fucking A.
And the counter for that is,
Shit on his head. I'll eat shit right now.
you go, "I'm going to piss on his picture again,"
And I'll eat shit right now.
and but you say, "Oh well." You will not, because I'll stab you with that kitchen knife. No.
No. I didn't say that in the clip.
Oh, it comes in a second.
Okay.
So we're getting there. But so Jared,
Yes.
when Dave goes, "I'll pee and eat your pee and you can pee on it too," you hit him with your classic line.
Oh, what? Pisses for pussies. I'm all about shit.
I'm all about shit. Yep. Which is a great line. I don't know if it was given.
I think Danny wrote that line.
But either way, it was off. It was great. It was in timing. And then Opie takes back over because, again, God forbid anybody else have the spotlight. So Dave, you go, "Oh yeah, you want to talk about shit? I'll eat your shit, Jared. You bring some of your shit."
That is awesome. That is fucking hardcore.
This is awful. We shouldn't have been doing any of this.
No, I know. But if I said I was going to eat his shit.
You offered to eat his shit. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I won that fucking war with that line. That's amazing. Shit.
We should never have been put in that
So
position.
you're saying the appropriate counter response wouldn't have been a dirty Sanchez for Jared? Because that's what Opie proposed next. Again, without confirming with you at all.
It's not going in the stomach.
It's not the same level
It's
at
not
all.
going in the stomach.
You know what?
You guys went worse and worse and worse. That's your problem. You guys started so high with shit hat mayonnaise, and then we're going to smear something on your mustache. Whereas, I mean, come on. Sorry, I fucking won this radio war just built on that.
I'm sorry that I wasn't included in the production meetings where they were discussing how they were going to humiliate me.
I know, but you know what?
Would have been kind of counterproductive.
Entertainment 101, not even wrestling. Entertainment 101 says you don't start so big that you can't follow it up. So your whole goddamn fucking team should be embarrassed. I won this war.
You know what Entertainment 102 is? Everybody has to shine because you realize clearly eating somebody else's shit can't be taught. So you go, I'll drink your jizz, Creampie Jones. If you can cream pie, I'll drink it. And then Jared, you stand up for yourself and go, drink it. I'll cream pie you, motherfucker. I'm cream pie, motherfucking Jones. And then Dave, you decide
I forgot all this.
It's time for work. I need to end this battle and show I'm the winner. And in front of Mars and several producers for the Opie and Anthony show who had already headed over to the other building, the following occurs.
Tony, you see it? Now that's a fucking O&A staffer. That's Tony. He's looking at my shit. He's looking at my shit. Now, do you guys want to see it?
Oh my God! Did he really shit in a bowl? We're fucked. What do you got, cream pie?
Do you guys see it? I'm putting my finger in the shit.
And that's Mars, dry heaving.
He ate his own shit. Wow.
That means nothing.
Yeah?
Positives are my friend.
I don't know. Now, you know, I've been watching the election on Pal Talk. Now they're screaming, Dave.
Oh, my God. Okay. The amount of people screaming in horror. I mean, come on. That gets me the fucking TKO in a second. There's legitimate grown men screaming.
Mars.
Mars Poe, I guarantee you, is a part of that. Wherever Mars went, Master Poe, the security guard, was there.
Remember right before your office, there was a little trash bin?
Yes.
I think Mars went over there to throw up.
Yeah. And Master Poe had a weak-ass stomach, too. So these fucking and they both considered themselves to be like kung fu experts. But you know what? Apparently,
more than that.
Apparently, you can defeat a kung fu expert with feces.
Well, Master Poe's weak stomach comes up later than the day on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, there it is.
So
I know.
it'll
It was both
definitely
of those
show
guys.
up. You nailed it. But you heard it kind of at the end there, which is at this moment.
It's disgusting.
That was close to the end, but I'm talking the very last line, which is Opie going, and the Pal Talk rooms are chanting, Dave, Dave, Dave.
I won.
And in this moment, Opie starts to get afraid. He realizes he may have bit off more than he can chew by putting up an intern who didn't agree to it.
He got nuked right there. I'm sorry.
Greatest stuntman on, SiriusXM at the time. And so
he got
the
nuked.
Pivot begins to occur. Opie decides to go, maybe we should put somebody else against Dave if Jared can't handle it. And Jared, much to your defense, as a 20-year-old kid, you go, no, you got me into this. I can handle it. I'll come up with something. You start spitballing ideas. They're not impressed because, again, nobody's helping you with this. If the shoe had been on the other foot and you had, I'm trying to think of which intern was most likely to eat shit. Okay, Chris Pepper.
Okay.
Had bit off more than he could chew talking shit about Danny.
Mm-hmm.
What would the Ron and Fez staff have done? They would have gotten together in a room with Pepper and been like, all right, you screwed up, but we're going to get you out of this. Here's what you're going to say. Here's what you're going to do.
That's not what would have happened.
No? I'm just asking. These would be thrown out
because
because
Pepper was an intern and Pepper wouldn't have had to do it. Dave would have been the guy.
I would, okay, if Pepper was an intern who bit off more than he could chew, I would have, helped him. But really, if someone went into business for themselves,
we've seen this happen recently.
They weren't put in that situation, but they decided to go for a challenge and then they got beat. No, they would be like, That's on you. You fucked up. You shouldn't have fucking done it. And that's how they would handle it, though.
Yeah.
If there was a fucking intern who decided to call out Anthony and it was and they were an asshole, they'd be like, you shouldn't have done that. Why'd you do that?
That's what I was getting at before. But like the only time you guys hung people out to dry was to teach them a lesson. But I'm saying, let's say there would never be a time where Ron had an intern going against a producer from another show that there wasn't a team effort behind him, is what I was trying to get
at. I doubt it. Yeah, no, I mean, or
Fez. I didn't mean to leave him out of it.
Organically or naturally, you want to help your own team members. So absolutely, we would be trying to help out those people. Did you get any help? I mean, you said you're giving all the credit to Danny. Apparently,
there were lines being read, but no one was like, "Hey, you need to like the crescendo bit." I had nothing because they were like, "Okay, we've set you up here. Now let's let this 20-year-old intern see what he could do." And I just, because I wasn't that guy, I just couldn't come up with something.
Pull your hat up, the brim. I can't see your face. There you go. There you go. Yeah, take it out.
There was no discussion like, hey, what are you comfortable with? What do you want to do? It was just, hey, do this stunt. And so you were waiting for somebody else to tell you the next stunt they were going to do to humiliate you, essentially.
Yeah. That's because you're the intern. You're told what to do.
That's fair. So in contrast to what
you were a paid producer, you were part creative, part talent. Well, you can't.
I was a star, a paid star. Correct. By the way, he doesn't look that bad. You know who he reminds me of? Hunter S. Thompson right now.
I could definitely see
right?
that. That's a really good.
That's
yeah, you do
bad.
look a lot like Hunter.
You don't have to hide the bald head with the hat every goddamn day. I know, but
trust me,
you're hiding the bald head is
Hunter
what you're
S.
doing.
Thompson's a lot better than Salman Rushdie.
Get one of those green fucking sun visors.
I remember we did a Davey Mac, an Eastside Dave show where I dressed like Hunter S. Thompson.
I was about a half mile.
He's got a Hunter S. Thompson. And you can be his lawyer. You guys get buy a red Cadillac.
In fairness, Matt Ryan's my lawyer.
That's a good lawyer.
Okay, no one knows who he is. Thank you, Quibbler. But go ahead.
Not to quibble. I like Matt too. He's a nice guy.
All right, you know what? I like Matt Ryan too. Wait a second. Opie Anthony intern.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
I thought you meant the fucking. You do know I'm Yes, I'm a sports fan. When you say Matt Ryan, I go to the Falcons quarterback. Dick.
I'm sorry that I brought up someone that we both know and both worked with.
Oh my God, I haven't. Matt Ryan is an Opie Anthony intern from 2007. That's the last time. That's the last time I saw him.
And this is 2007, where instead of
he wasn't
rallying the troops around Jared, what Opie and Anthony did was go, our guy isn't up to the challenge. You know what would be good is if our fans fought their fans. I think they could beat them up. And then even
fans fighting fans.
I don't remember any of this.
So now we're in officially Braveheart country. We're going to have 100 people from 08, 100 people from Ron Fez just running at each other.
All right, so I don't know where you're going next. The only thing
I don't either.
The only thing I remember was they were trying to get some kind of promo thing between the two of us, and you were like just in your underwear.
Oh, coming soon. So we'll get to that in a minute. But they go, our fans will beat up Ron and Fez's. And then Anthony has a lot of questions, like who gets Fred from Brooklyn? Who gets Big A? And all this stuff. And again, they kind of realized they'd lose that as well. They talk about former great stuntmen they had, Pat.
Duffy.
I believe this was Pat from Moonaki. They were talking about eating his own shit.
God. Oh, rest in peace, Pat from Moonaki. We love it.
They talked about
the great Pat from Moonaki.
They could do something with Big A's tumor, maybe, because he had like a tumor removed that he had saved at the time.
Oh my God, Andrew, disgusting.
Maybe bring in Sandy Kane, the big guns for Twatto.
Fuck, I hate her.
And just full evidence of the
fucking
twist.
Disgusting.
You can hear the panic in Opie when he goes with this.
You know what? Genital herpes. Yeah. Sorry. It's being suggested by Eric in New York. Yeah. This is a job for Pat Duffy. Are you saying to replace...
Fuck that!
This could be a job for Pat Duffy.
You know, you say fuck that, but I don't think you mean fuck that.
Yeah, this is what you need to do. Are you working tomorrow?
Yeah.
You come in here tomorrow with the stunt. If the gang is listening over there at the Ron Fez show, we reserve the right to replace Creampie Jones with Pat Duffy.
Bullshit.
There's no reason for that.
Well, you come up with a stunt for tomorrow's show.
Come up with a stunt.
And Pat is in tomorrow.
Yep.
Should we have Pat from Pat Duffy standing by with his stunt?
Tell Pat to come up with a stunt for tomorrow. Something that beats Eastside Dave, where he shit in a bowl and took a finger load out and ate it.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
There's no need for that.
Can't beat that.
Thank God for Pat.
Can't beat shitting in a bowl live on the radio. Truly, with an engineer and security guard as witnesses, putting your finger in and needing it. Can't beat it. But you did fucking get replaced, now that I think about it, by Pat Duffy, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we all love Pat Duffy. Is that fair?
Pat's fucking great. He's
Okay,
a
we love you,
wonderful
Pat.
person.
Miss you.
Shout out to King of the Interns, Pat Duffy.
Yeah. He's still with us, right? He's not dead?
No, he's great. He's married,
love
got
Pat
2
Duffy.
kids. He's living his best possible fucking life, man.
Good.
2 things happened in that clip. One positive, one negative. The negative is, Jared, they were like, you come up with your own bit that we just set you up for and see if it's better than this guy who we know is good at doing these things. Like, it really is setting you up for failure.
Oh, you don't say, eh?
In the same way you were just talking about with one of those Mr. Miyagi situations.
How is it setting him up for failure?
What was the
He
term?
has 24 hours to think of a bit. I'm sorry. At a certain point, even if you're an intern, don't you decide to take this opportunity and say, even if I want to get into radio, I should
didn't
at
want
least
to fucking
think.
do these things in the first
Okay.
place.
But hold on, no, but you're missing my point.
I can't believe you're defending this.
The idea. You could have at least come up with an idea. I'm not even saying whether or not you execute the idea, but you're complaining that, oh, I'm an intern. Why should I have to? They're giving you 24 hours just to think of a stunt.
Really bad idea.
And that's what I was going to get to. I think the way it's setting him up for failure is they've got this ace in the hole. You've got a kid who doesn't, and I keep calling you a kid because you were young at the time.
I was 20
but
years old.
You weren't able to drink, but you were able to drink shit. I think that is kind of funny.
Line. That's a good line.
But you're setting him up against the best guy they've got at this. He's going to do something stupid.
I had to come up with my own shit.
Yeah.
No one had to tell me what to fucking do.
You also had a track record of success at this point. No
Barely.
offense.
The first
absolutely.
stunt I did was on the Ron and Fez show. I'd been in radio. We are almost on the same fucking playing field. Oh my God, that's the truth. I didn't do fucking stunts on 90.5 The Night.
No,
I didn't do stunts working for Westwood One doing goddamn news and traffic, and I didn't do stunts as the weekend guy on 95.9 The Rat. I was in radio 2 years before the Ron and Fez show, okay? And for 2 years, I did 0 stunts. How, like, I'm barely ahead of you. So this fucking defeatist attitude is ridiculous. I'm barely ahead with regards to stunts.
Just one clarification, though. Two important points.
Is that point valid?
That it is a valid point, and I do think you could have somebody in that situation so seeking approval. Like, that's how fraternities get into trouble. Somebody who's just willing to do whatever they can to impress the older people.
Sure.
And that does feel like what you were being set up for. But I will say Anthony did give you the out. When you go, fuck that, he goes, you said that, I don't know if you really mean it. It's kind of his way of being like, hey, this is your get out of jail free card if you don't want to do anything.
Oh, and to Pat Duffy's credit, he stepped right in and he hit a fucking home run.
Well, he did a good job. He did okay. And we'll get into that in a minute. But the idea they end the show with might have been on the same level as you eating your own shit. And that was, they had the idea for a diarrhea super soaker. They were going to go out into one of the parks and fill up a super soaker with diarrhea. And they were going to have him in leg warmers and reenact the flash dance scene with a super soaker of diarrhea.
Thank God I just completely repressed all of this.
I don't remember this either, but that is good. Jared, if you had gotten that would have been something. I would have had to have gotten.
No, this was for Pat
I would have had
Duffy.
to have gotten a fucking diarrhea tank. At that point, I would have had to have someone get into a tank that shot huge missiles of
acknowledge the
diarrhea.
fact that at this point I was only doing these stunts because they offered money.
Yeah, and no money was on the table at this point, just pride. But I will say it was for Pat Duffy to do, not for Jared. They wanted Pat Duffy to flash.
So is that at the end of him?
This was the end of
they
that
saw
segment.
that I was, I guess, running my course.
But
as far as with this shit goes.
No, actually, they may have, but you didn't give up. And that's what I find most impressive as this continues with the Ron and Fez show when we get back from this short break.
I'm Creampie Jones, motherfucker. What? Bring it! Who do you think you're fucking with? I've got the cock the size of Kansas! And I know how to use it! Who the fuck else wore a shit hat? That's right. I've had Jim Norton shit in my hand! That's right. I've just been cream pie by mayo! That's right. Bring it! Wow. Because I'm Creampie Jones, motherfucker! What? Woo! teabag you! Piss is for rookies. I'm all about shit. Laxatives are my friends. What you gonna do when there's a cream pie in you?
We weren't recording, so we are now back. And we are back. Alrighty. We learned during that break there might be a radio war here because Dave will take his son to the pool, but not his metaphorical son, me.
No, I did. Hold on. This epic episode, this recording has taken so long that the pool, sadly, in my apartment complex is closed now, Robert. Now,
this is 2023, Dave. I'm just saying, 2007, Dave, you and I'd be pulling stunts in that
what
pool.
I'm saying is, if you want to boost, I can boost you over the fence. They lock the fence and they lock the door. But if you want a boost over the fence, I'll boost you over the fence, and then you get me, and I'll hop over the fence, and we'll still swim. I won't get in trouble. You will get arrested for trespassing. Now, if you want that, then let's go, baby. I'll finish this goddamn fucking epic ass episode. 2 more IPAs, a little joint ski. Me and Jared hanging out, having a little fun. Maybe a little Mario Kart while we wait for you to change into your bathing suit.
No, we go watch Goodfellas. That's our thing.
And then we'll go and hop over the fence and go swimming. A night swimming.
I've done night swimming
REM
before.
song. Night swimming deserves a quiet night. Any REM fans out there? I'm sorry. Is this about Radio War?
I'm more of an REO fan than an REM fan.
I like REM.
You take it on the run, baby. Anyway,
all right.
We are at a Radio War, and we've talked so far about the differences between the two teams. So we've seen an official Radio War is on. There's going to be a stunt off. And O&A has responded by abandoning their guy that they put up for the fight, turning on him, finding somebody else.
He's been taken out.
Saying he wasn't great.
Well, they're bringing in the ringer.
Abraham Lincoln fired the guy who actually was his political opponent in the 1864 election, McClellan or whatever his name
McClellan.
was. McClellan. And put in fucking Grant. So you're McClellan, you goddamn loser. Fucking Pat Duffy is Grant.
In stark
the Victor.
contrast.
Yes.
Ron Fez circles the wagons. And it's one of my favorite metaphors from sports. It's us versus the world. Everybody outside this locker room, fuck you. However you want to say it, that's what occurs here. You've got Ron just running and supporting everything you've done so far, talking about how great of a call in it was.
Thank you, Mr. B.
You've got you. He's letting you talk shit. You've got Fez addressing the ridiculousness of the situation just to keep it funny.
Thank you, Mr. W.
While still supporting you. And it really just kind of shows, I think, the mentality of the two different groups.
Superior.
Which is one group.
Well, I'll say this. One team has a superior, unified type of mentality. Yankees, the late 90s, like I said, 4 championships in 5 years. The other team's got a modern-day Dallas Cowboys attitude. Me. Megastars, nobody on the same page, choke jobs.
And we've got...
That's a difference.
Confidence from Ron and Fez, and nothing sums up the mindset of Opie and Anthony going into this battle than this little, what I called a prophecy by Anthony Cumia.
This could be a tragic miscalculation in power. Yeah.
That is interesting.
It feels like
that's the whole clip?
That was the whole clip I had for you.
That is interesting. I know what you're saying in terms of radio show. I'm going to say this only because you just brought this up. It sparked something in my mind. One of the drinking shows that we had around this time, Opie came in, had a great time. It was actually great on the show. I was drinking. It was a vodka. It was a Tito's vodka show.
Some things don't change.
I don't drink Tito. I don't drink a lot of hard alcohol anymore. It's a lot of weed and IPAs. But
no more Jack and
Opie
Cokes.
said, this is a fact, and I'm sure our buddy, by the way, thank you, Robert, thank you, Jared, and thank you, Ron Fez Archivist. Actually, Robert, Jared, and Ron Fez Archivist are the 3 producers of this show. They're doing a fantastic job.
In that order.
But Opie said, no wonder your show is more popular than ours. That was at a drinking show when I was at the... No, Opie said that himself.
I know, but that's a huge admission because these are 2 guys who even...
It was a time where I'm just going to lay it on out there. The Ron Fez show is arguably the best show on the planet Earth.
Well,
it's not to disrespect O&A. This is a happy trip down memory lane, and it's to respect everybody. I'm just saying that Anthony just said that this could be a change in power. He was right about that, I think. So, not power, popularity.
So, while all of this is happening, this is completely fucking and batshit
Talking to
insane.
the
Sorry.
Sorry.
Mike.
I was talking to the mic. I can hear myself.
No, you can't.
Somewhere out there in Clinton, New Jersey, a young 20-something woman gets off a bus and meets her boyfriend. And her boyfriend says, "You've got to listen to this." And they're playing the Sleeves promo. The Radio War, blah, blah, blah.
Radio War.
And she's like, "Fuck this Creampie Jones. He sounds like a fucking asshole. He sounds like a douchebag frat boy. I'm Team Eastside Dave."
Okay, who is this person?
And that person is Mrs. Creampie Jones.
Your wife?
My wife. Oh, yeah, my wife was a huge Ron Fez fan.
And she loves the sleeve song.
Oh, yeah. She plays it to piss me off.
To this day?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I love her so much.
You've never turned somebody so pro
On
somebody
Yaddle
in a
Chattle.
heartbeat.
On Yaddle Chattle, we call her Padme.
Yes.
That's our Star Wars podcast that we co-host together. Did I tell you the number one fastest rising R-rated Star Wars podcast in the universe?
You did, because I tried
Number
to say
one.
the number one Star Wars and you corrected me because
Yeah,
there's
'cause
that Rebel Radio.
It would be a
we're
lie.
working there. Yeah.
It would be a lie. But our show's pretty goddamn awesome, and we're getting shout-outs almost on a weekly basis by the number one show, RFR, Rebel Force Radio. But
Thank you,
that's-
Jimmy and Jason.
Thank you. But that's hysterical. Your wife taunts you with the Sleeves Radio
Well,
War
I
song.
didn't know who she was. She didn't know who I was. She thought I was some fucking asshole.
Oh, I love her so much. She's so much better than you.
I've told you the story about how we met. I had a picture on my online dating profile of me sitting as White Jared from the Eastside Dave show on Dave's lap. We were doing a bit where I was his puppet. And
ventriloquist.
We do that bit every Sunday where I pretend I'm Dave's puppet.
It's a ventriloquist situation.
Yes. I was
you
the
were the human puppet. That was a ventriloquist. Yeah.
Yes. I write this really nice, thought out letter to like, hey, how are you? You very pretty. You got beautiful eyes. Blah blah blah. And she goes, "Holy shit, is that Eastside Dave?" And I went, "Oh no, she's gonna find out who I am, and this is never gonna happen."
No, he says. Oh no.
I mean, if she knows who you are.
If she says holy shit, that's usually an indicator of someone who's happy.
Well, it means
it's happy she might get to meet you. Not Jared, the guy she just met on the dating app.
Is that why? Is what Robert's saying the truth? Was she? Were you threatened?
No.
He's afraid she's going to find out about the Creampie Jones thing.
She's going to find out all the stuff that I've done and head for the hills.
Head for the mountains of Bush.
Turns out it's just her favorite thing to do in the bedroom now.
Oh, because
Queen not
that's
disrespect
what he
my
calls
wife.
his ass. The hills. He tells her, head for the hills. Wife, head for the hills. I'm heading for the hills. And then she spreads the hills open and puts the tongue right in the canyon.
Are you really doing this right now?
No, I mean, I'm not talking about the wife. It's just a disgusting, I don't know.
bro,
It's just
okay,
having fun with your ass.
Because she'll give you shit.
No,
she will.
I was more thinking about your butt.
And when she gives Dave the shit, he'll eat it.
I wasn't thinking, exactly. And I wasn't thinking about her. I was thinking about you.
But by stark contrast to hanging you out to dry and panicking that this might be the end of being the most popular radio show on the virus, we have Ron and Fez, who are circling the troops.
Of course.
Or circling the wagons, as I said, rallying the troops, getting everybody ready to go. And
we're not panicked. No panic. No panic whatsoever.
Way to represent. Very, very proud of you today.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Yeah. Who is this kid? Who is this guy?
Yeah, who's Creampie Jones? If I had to describe him in one word, it would be chump.
You know what? And this has been a long time coming. O&A have a rude staff. The producers are always rude to you guys and act like they're above you. And today, like Popeye, you had all you can stands and you can't stands no more. First of all, let me just talk about the pride I have in Eastside Dave right now. But here's what I love about that. Did you hear Opie? You could have heard a pin drop. He just shut up and he knew that he'd hyped this guy, this rich kid, as being something. And you came back with something I call genius. Shit in a bowl, put your finger in it, and put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then you never heard another word out of Opie.
No.
I'm so confused. Our guy ate his own shit and we won.
Yes.
Champion.
I'll take your word for it.
Here's how we won. Dave ate his shit and Creampie didn't.
Yeah.
I ate my shit.
Boom!
What's hard to understand about that,
You
Fez?
tasted your own shit. I understand that part. So we're the winners. Yes, for eating shit.
And it's just the most perfect way to handle this
That is
situation.
phenomenal.
You know what that reminds me of when we were doing the Earl episode, and Fez calls in, and he's just playing completely along the straight man. He's like, "Oh, how's the new system going?"
Oh my God. I'm not sure there was a better phone caller in the history of radio than Fez Whatley. I am being dead serious.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think there's a better phone, like a person who delivers funnier phone calls than Fez Whatley on a consistent basis. That is a fucking fact. His phone calls were always hysterical.
Phone calls were incredible and conveying an emotion.
But that's his hysterical thing. He's like, hold on, we won? Our guy had to eat the shit. When we won the war?
All right, if you say so.
Okay, I guess you're right, Ron. That was fucking, I mean, come on.
The ability to convey such emotion in so short words is so incredible, too. Like, just the flabbergastedness.
We were proud because we kicked your ass. Because guess what? Everything you say is right. We were lean and mean. We were short-staffed. We had 2 producers at that time and 1 intern, as opposed to 9 producers and about 6 interns, you fucking bloated ass bitches. That's who you were. You were a rock band who was, 35 years into their career. So they bring like 8 like background singers and 7 saxophone players and 3 keyboardists, and you're just a bunch of fucking, instead of being the original OG 5-piece, you guys were nothing but a bunch of sacks of shit.
And I get where you're coming from with your confusion, Jared, because you're like, this does feel like Jordan talking shit to the Pistons D-League team. But you did pick this fight via Opie, so I get where Dave's coming from. You didn't ask for this fight. You wouldn't, if you had.
Neither did I.
No, neither did you, but your show put you up for it. And if you had picked this fight, you would have talked to him ahead of time.
You could have been a pacifist. You could have been the fucking monk who lit himself on fire outside the fucking McNamara's
Actually,
window at
that
the
might have
Pentagon.
won you the stunt off if you had lit yourself on fire.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
And there,
circling back to Vietnam somehow.
And therein lies the crux of the problem.
What?
Damn it. No, not you.
Oh.
The situation I was in.
No, that's my text to Jared. You know who the crux of the problem is?
Me.
Damned if I did it, and
damned if
I
you don't.
didn't. Because if I didn't do it, if I didn't follow through, the shit I would have gotten, the abuse I would have gotten behind the scenes would have been just as bad as the humiliation. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll do it and I'll come out with $300.
Yeah, but
It's one of those old Kobayashi conundrums,
Yeah,
Dave.
and I was actually kind of in the same boat. Now, I didn't have a bunch of, nerds that somehow bullied me around, because if any of them tried, I remember when they tried to tie me. This is a different episode, but in one of those fucking stunt wars that we had, not with Jared, but no, it was the Afro War. They tried to duct tape me to a chair, right? It was 4 Opie and Anthony producers, and I literally started fighting my way and then swinging, trying to punch them in the face, and I got out of the fucking chair. They got the top of my head, if you remember. Remember? For like 3 weeks, I was walking around with just the top of my head was shaved, and then the back was like all like bushy
You
and
look
shit.
like Larry Fine.
Yeah, I had like a Krusty the Clown look.
If I'm not mistaken, you like a day later, you and Fez got into a hardcore challenge during the Siren series where you weren't allowed to shower or anything, so you couldn't even do up your hair to hide the fact that they'd shaved off the flat top
it was
from you.
it was a
nuts.
disaster. But what I did was I fought my way out of it, and I was punching. I was literally throwing punches, and they ran out of the studio. Fact.
You know what?
But-
Maybe in retrospect, I should have just gotten fired than asked for an internship at Ron and Fez. But that was 16 years ago, and
You should have just asked for an internship at Ron Fez after O&A.
And the other thing is, Dave, I think you have to keep in mind, if you had gotten in trouble for punching your way out of the chair, what would have happened? Like if somebody from, let's say somebody from O&A's staff bitched out, you caught him in the face by accident, they went to management.
I would have thrown them out of the window on the 9th floor.
That and Ron and Fez would have had your back is my point. Whereas I feel like if Jared had said no or done something to fight his way out of it, it would have just been like, well, no more Creampie Jones as an intern after they spent a day mocking him on air.
That's exactly what would have happened. There was no real necessary hierarchy in the sense that if you didn't do what you were, if you didn't allow the abuse to happen, then
abuse. I mean, you're
Yeah.
you're allowed to say whatever you want.
That's
you were
what
the
it
intern.
was.
Oh wow, this is a controversial episode. This is an epic controversial episode.
I understand that it's a
A lot
comedy
of people
show.
on Patreon are.
I know it's a
I
comedy
happen to know
show.
for a fact that 3 people, prominent people in Sirius, who've had prominent SiriusXM satellite radio careers, are big time fans. And I'm just gonna say these 3 people, they're not, with all due respect, the Jareds of the world. They're stars.
Oh, my first guess was
They're
Mike
talents.
Bichetti.
They're talents. They're talents. They're big names.
I'm sorry.
With all due respect.
With all due respect, I'll make the world go round.
Okay.
They can make them laugh. I'll make the world happy.
Well,
sorry.
By delivering iced teas.
Sorry.
people did make the world laugh. And some of my favorite names that Ron came up with was Johnny Come Lately. And it was Cum. Like he kept being like, Cum Fez. You get it? Because he's Creampie Jones. Johnny Come Lately.
Fucking Ron's amazing.
Creampie
So
Jones,
fucking
obviously. I cut a little bit out of it, putting it together. But when you go, he's not a champ, he's a chump. That line made me crack up, Dave.
You are a chump, though. I mean, in
Do
that
you still want to do
circumstance.
Yaddle?
In that circumstance, I said.
If Jared quits Yaddle, any interest in doing Yaddle Chattle with me?
No, I
Just
don't
my
want to
phone
fucking talk
autocorrects
about the
to that.
Mariners, the Seahawks. I would be interested in
What
maybe
about
the
grunge?
grunge scene of the early 90s.
Pearl
but
Jam?
I know that fucking Pearl Jam's from Seattle.
I
Thank
didn't.
you.
I did. This would have been great for the podcast. I did not know
I'm
Pearl
not
Jam was
doing
from Seattle.
I'm not doing Seattle Channel.
Seems like a good one to me. Obvious
No.
choice, but all right. After this, Dave, you kind of take some shots at Jared. You point out how stupid the Mayo is. You go, it's a
I mean,
step
come
down.
on, Jared. Admit. Come away.
Yes.
We have years of hindsight.
Whoever came up with that bit is an idiot.
Well, I mean, it's just we have now heard, including yourself, big time things going on here,
And
the
big time fear.
mayonnaise in no way, shape, or form contributes to the Radio Wars. I think in an important way, and thus I really did beat you in Radio Wars.
Yeah,
but
You're
you know
admitting
what?
that?
Of course.
So,
All right.
so we're at this point where, again, you're on an island. They've kind of given up on you, moved to Pat Duffy. Dave, you're doing your victory lap, and you call him out for that. What else did you call him
The
out
war
for?
was over. You can fucking
It
put
could have
Pat
been-
Duffy in there, but come on, give me a break. Then he scrubbed his teeth, or am I stepping on your thing?
We're not even close there yet.
Jesus
because
Christ.
Close there. We have to go home. We don't have to play
You
every
are
fucking
home.
clip.
Yeah, this is
I
your
know.
home, Dave.
Okay, we have things to do.
I have to go home.
We have to go home.
The wife already called.
Obviously, they listened to the shitting and eating it clip. Ron points out Opie's fear, like we heard. Fez is confused. And then Ron clarifies the rules. He goes, no. You put up Creampie Jones. You can't sub in Pat from
100%.
You can't bring in
100%.
anybody else.
That's total shit.
I love how he's looking at me like I am the representative of the show.
Who else am I going to look at? It's
Well, hang
Radio
on, hang
Wars.
on.
You're
Give me-
0-8. I'm
Give me
Ron
5
Fez.
seconds to get there because, Jared, you show up.
Yes.
You take
Oh,
matters
God.
into your own hand. Jared at least tries. He doesn't walk away from the battle. He comes to the Ron and Fez show to face you. And we'll get
That's
there in 1
solid.
second. But while Ron's clarifying the rules, he says, no, it's not fans versus fans. Pests, stay out of this. I don't want anybody fucking with Dave. This is Dave versus Creampie Jones. And then he says, and I quote, and if you win, you can do an unmasked appearance.
Wow. I get unmasked?
And I'm just curious, how did that go?
I did not. There's no unmasked with Eastside Dave episode.
I
if
think
that's
we're
what you're
due one
asking.
then. I think we got one in the tank coming up then.
I would love to do that.
So,
Ron, if you could keep the questions to when Jared and I were battling at SiriusXM, let's concentrate on that for 60 minutes, please. When he wore a duty hat. Ron, I have a breaking news. He did not actually wear a duty hat. I know. I just found that out recently.
and that was a hell of a promo. We laughed at Jared's promo earlier. Let's see how a real man did a promo
All right.
back in 2007.
I wonder if Creampie even knows where he is. You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. Listen up, Creampie.
Fat Earl pause there.
You want this, Creampie? You're gonna get it, baby. I love it. Look at this kid. Someone handed me a picture of him on MySpace.
the fuck this little chubby bastard thinks he's going against? I'm fucking 190 pounds of twisted Irish steel.
Oh, he's got his own MySpace?
You're going down. Jungle.
This is someone digging a hole for themselves. And this may be, Fezzy, the thing that finally brings them down, that knocks them off that pedestal.
I think it was. I have to say. I mean, great show, great guys. Got nothing bad to say. But let's be honest. They tried to fucking dip their toes in the goddamn fire lake, which is East Side Dave. And Daddy, you're not going to just get wet. You're going to get burned.
Oh, of course.
You understand?
You play with fire. That's what happens.
You understand?
Yeah. And you know where the other thing is, too? Like, put Jared up against Earl.
You destroy him.
Work your way up the food chain. You know what I mean? You don't take shots at the king. There's a reason.
If you had... history would have been different. If Jared had taken on Earl, it would have been as if the Nazis, won in the war. In which case, actually, then Jared and his parents wouldn't even be here. Now that I think about it, so
okay,
Big Boy would have made a real duty. If that's what I'm saying there.
But you understand my alternate reality.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great.
Yeah,
we would be sitting here with Earl. This would have taken 6 times as long because he would have had to go photograph the beach at sunset.
I know.
But we've got, like you said, Jared, you were calling him out the whole time. He could have done something, and he did. He showed up to face you face to face, ready to pee in your eye like you offered on the radio show.
I give you
There's
credit.
a standoff. He appears outside the studio. Fez notices him and goes, "Who's that?" And let's just see what happens between you two to keep this thing moving. It's the last audio clip I have, fellas. Don't worry.
You know what? I do believe that is O&A's intern. That's Creampie Jones.
Creampie Jones is hanging around outside, or is he?
Yep, he's right outside the door.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, there he is, right there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
There he is. Come on. There he is. The blonde kid.
Is that him?
My fucking house.
In your house.
My fucking house. You're being here.
I'm in his house right now.
That's who you understand. I will fucking deal with this. So I will fucking steal your house. You have to die. You're gonna have to die. You are going to get fucking shot on. I can fucking shit in your ass. Kids play. This is not a fucking joke, fucker. You're going to die again. This is not a real thing.
Dave.
This is not a fucking thing.
Dave, take his shirt. Take his fucking shirt off him. Take his shirt off him. Take his shirt off him. Take his. There it is.
I think.
There it is. There it is. Take your own shirt off. All right, Poe's got Dave.
All right.
Don't ever come into my house again.
Dave's shirtless.
Don't ever come into my house again.
All right, this isn't our studio.
Don't ever come into my house again.
That's right. Stay out of Frank's place.
Way to stand up for Frank.
No, he never gets naked.
Yeah.
He never does anything for the show.
Yeah, there goes your clothes.
All right.
Oh, fuck. Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Don't back in the town.
All right, I got something for that. So, do you remember that? I guess they were renovating.
Yes.
That's when they were building out the wall to go so far back that the Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez studio at XM, not Sirius, is still to date by far the biggest studio I've ever been in.
Yes.
Oh, no. I mean, biggest, best and biggest. Way bigger than Howard Stern's studio on 92.3 K-Rock that you saw on the E! Channel.
Yeah, yeah.
And even when they renovated that, because we worked in that on 92.3 from 6 to 9. Point being, they shut us down for a little bit in that studio, so we had to go to Frank's place.
It's a little cubby hole.
It was, I mean, it's smaller than this room.
Yes.
So it was covered in shit by this point then.
I don't even know how you got... I don't know how I even got in the room to fucking get on mic.
I think the way you probably did the stunt was out in that
hallway.
The common area.
Right.
The common area in the common area.
Where people are getting coffee and shit.
Where Buddy worked in his little cubicle. And
so did you ever know about Buddy?
No.
Have we brought Buddy up on Davey Max from Satellite?
No, we brought. Yeah, I think I've heard you bring up Buddy.
Okay, because I just don't want to repeat. Buddy was Jonathan. What's his name? Schwartz. Jonathan Schwartz was the Frank Sinatra host at SiriusXM. XM at the time.
Yeah.
Jonathan Schwartz, lovely guy. Now, he was accused oftentimes of just simply taking people's food from the fridge and eating it. But the guy was also 80. He was a lovely man.
He always had a shit-eating grin on his face.
But he was nice.
He was very
eating other
pleasant.
people's
He
food.
was pleasant.
He was a
though.
pleasant guy.
He was a nice man. And he was a Frank Sinatra guy and stuff like that. But he had this miserable piece of shit. This like 50-year-old he looked like a more evil and a way fatter version of Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
You know, like Stanley Kubrick, if he was way fat, because Kubrick was never fat, and angry and pissed off.
Oh, yeah. He always had the scowl. He was like, fuck this place.
And we had to use their studio. And that's when Buddy really fucking lost it on us. He began to hate us because we were using fucking Jonathan Schwartz's Frank Sinatra studio. We had no choice.
I can't imagine why he would dislike sharing a studio with you.
What did I do to Buddy?
I've listened to 2 days worth of radio. You've shat twice, and you're about to piss in his studio.
Well, all right, fine. But he was just a miserable little prick, that Buddy. You know, just a miserable little guy.
I'm just trying to remember. I'm pretty sure you just did that in that cubicle area. That
He pushed one of our interns one time.
And what'd you do about
I told you that story?
No, what'd you do?
I said, get your hands off my fucking intern. And because of that, he went to HR.
And got himself in trouble.
No, I got in trouble. Me and Chris Pepper Stanley got in trouble and had to have a meeting with HR.
Oh, God.
Like, that's how fucked up SiriusXM is. And this was at...
a meeting with HR is bad.
No, it was both.
Was that the merger?
Yes, it happened after the merger. I couldn't believe it.
Meeting with HR is bad. A meeting with HR with
I'm like,
Chris
wait a second,
Stanley
wait a second,
at
wait a
your
second.
back is rough. He is not corporate Chris
You're
Stanley.
having a meeting with me right now when this fucking Frank Sinatra guy laid hands on my producer? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And we walked out of there and they were like, oh, I guess we can't really fire them. Maybe they were looking to fire us, but they didn't.
Pepper, please just don't say fuck to the boss.
He just sat there. Davey MacDale, the talker.
Intimidating. He's an intimidating force to have in the room. But speaking of intimidating, what happens next is just one of the most egregious acts of intimidation and winning something I've ever seen, which is where you take a picture of Jared that you found from his MySpace that Fez was impressed with. You then urinate on it. You eat the picture.
Yes.
You drink the rest of the urine.
Yes.
And everybody gives you the pop you deserve. You just ate a picture
Just
and drink
amazing.
your own piss.
I mean, just a phenomenal
But
performance.
that's not even the real crescendo of all this.
No, and a lot of people would have just walked away on their laurels at that point, but
That's not the end.
No.
I thought that was the end.
No.
I don't even remember what happens next.
Not Davey hitting for the cycle McDonald, who steps back up to the plate, shits in a corner. One of my favorite lines is Ron going, "Don't shit on the floor." You go, "Somebody bring me my shit bucket." Fez goes, "We have a shit bucket." Which was my only reaction at the time as well. And then Dave, you shit, and what comes next is you take a bit of the shit and you eat it.
Boom.
Now, when you shit originally, Poe puked. When you ate it, Poe projectile vomited. You could hear him for the next 5 minutes.
That's when I saw Mars go over to their little trash bin right before their office, and I saw Mars throw up.
Yeah, because this was a bigger thing than the little bowl.
Oh, no, there were
was a little,
so many
I
people.
put my hand like in the poo and did it. This was a big thing, a turd in my hand that I shoved into my mouth.
But this isn't even the real crescendo. We're still building up to it.
No, this got to be the end of the war.
No.
Well, after you've shit and ate, you can't get the taste out of your mouth. So how do you clean shit out of a mouth?
I remember this. I got some Palmolive liquid detergent that we had for washing the dishes there, and I drank a shot of it.
Yes.
I didn't think that was bad for you.
And it turns out
It's poisonous.
It's poisonous, yeah.
And I started to throw up all foam, and it was the sickest I've ever gotten in my entire life. And then I asked Earl, "Can you please get me to the hospital? I think I'm going to die." At which point, I will never fucking forget this for the rest of my fucking life.
Oh, no.
He says, "Well,
I don't have enough money for a cab, so we're going to have to walk there.
He made me walk with him to the hospital a good 20 blocks away when I was fucking dying of poisoning. And when I say dying, I mean intravenous, drink the fucking charcoal, make him puke. He's drank fucking liquid detergent. He's poisoned himself like a freak on the radio and everything. And Earl's like,
you got this. You got this, brother. You got this, Dave. We only got 12 more blocks to walk.
Did he really make you walk?
We walked to the hospital. I was dying. And while we're walking, I'm throwing up right on 5th Avenue. It's not like it's a small little fucking place in New York. It's Midtown Manhattan, 5th Avenue. I'm throwing up. And when I throw up, it literally just looks like soap. Is it like soap puddles emerge on the fucking street? Like soap puddles.
Why didn't he call 911 and get an ambulance?
Thank you.
No,
that
that's
would
good.
be nice.
No, that's rule number 1 of working with Ron Bennington. None of the producers leave in an ambulance. If I learned anything, it's you die at the studio before you call an ambulance.
I guess that's
and
true.
You have somebody move your body.
Someone should have ponied
That was
up.
Earl's mistake, right?
Yeah, that
in
was
that
Earl's,
episode
yeah.
that
we may be doing next time.
An episode that we have on our minds.
Yes.
We'll discuss that because there was tremendous controversy. But Earl called an ambulance one time.
But more importantly,
That got us all in trouble.
I know you feel the failure of Earl as a friend, and that hurts.
Making me walk
But
to the hospital was low.
I can only tell you that anger you're feeling now is rivaled by me, who as a producer goes, you didn't bring a recorder so you could record Dave explaining to the doctors how he ended in this predicament. Like, that is radio gold. How did that go down? The doctor goes, well, I see you're puking.
He
Palm
didn't do
all."
one goddamn thing right. He didn't, A, take care of me in any way, shape, or form, and B, after not taking care of me, got no content for the air. So that is called a shitty fucking job, which
Pun
is why
intended.
one of the worst producers of all time, and I know it's a happy show down memory lane, but I can't forget the guy put me on the fucking Shizer list randomly 4 weeks ago. So it is why he's the shittiest producer in the history of radio. I'm saying with a smile on my face, but no one's been worse.
Also, luckiest.
No one.
Luckiest.
Luckiest, shittiest, most.
Nah, that's me. I'm the luckiest because I get to
really.
work with Eastside Dave every
so
week.
Nice. So nice.
But do you remember that conversation with the doctor at all? Like, how did that go down? Did you tell him
No,
you
I
ate
was half
shit
conscious,
prior?
Robert. I'm
He
not
was puking
kidding.
his brains out. He had to walk 20 blocks. He was probably delirious by the time he got to the hospital.
I guarantee you, if you look it up, I was closer to being like dead than like most people.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard my Bonnaroo story, right?
Yes, I have.
So, in case people forgot, I've had like big time near death experiences. I drank poison as a little kid when I was 5 because the stupid lawn care guy put the pesticides on the kitchen cabinet. I thought it was apple juice, like a little moron. I drank it and almost died there.
30 tabs of acid.
Newport Beach, 30 tabs of acid. Newport Beach when I was 1 year old because that's where I was born. Grew up in Jersey by the age of 2, but I was born in Newport Beach, California. And we had a gate to the harbor, and my brothers left it open. So they found me totally blue. I was drowned. And they had to pump my stomach and all that shit. I somehow survived that
Were you
fucking
3D
shit.
at that point? Because you're normally so red?
I mean, I was just fucked up.
That's a good line.
Thanks, Jared.
You piece of shit. You can fucking. I tell you, how are you guys are so strong with me, you motherfucking maggot?
Me?
You're supposed to take fucking shit on him. Hey, fucking asshole.
Hey,
if you're the producer of this show, do you ever hear me taking shots at Ron Bennington? So fucking remember your goddamn fucking loyalty, bitch, and take shots at him.
Your
Thank
finger
you very
still
much.
smells like shit.
Thank
Dave.
you very much. I tell you, Robert gets confused sometimes.
Robert just is having fun with 2 of his best friends, Dave and Jared.
God bless you. Can we end this thing already?
We
We're going on
could.
3 hours.
Don't need the Pat Duffy stuff.
We got a shout out to
me versus Jared.
The Pat Duffy stuff takes about 10 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go straight through, no break, because the next day you go in, and this is just the most telling thing for me. Jared shows up alone to face you. Honestly, in a David Goliath type situation where David is unfortunately Goliath. Yeah. You're the Titan,
that's true.
Jared doesn't stand a chance.
I am the giant.
And then you go onto their turf, and who comes with you? They don't send an intern. They don't send a co-producer. They send, arguably other than you, the greatest stuntsman associated with the Ron and Fez show.
The big cat.
Fez, the big cat, Watley, goes in with you, and you are his pit bull. He has you on a leash, and
he's wearing that big rainbow jacket. He's got the Fez on. It's like, you guys are ready to do a fucking wrestling promo.
Yeah, right.
You're ready to go. You invade earlier than you're supposed to. All the typical Ron and Fez playbook. And what was the name of your conundrum called, Jared?
The Kobayashi Maru.
What's the only way you win a Kobayashi Maru, Dave?
I don't know. Lose.
You don't play the challenge.
You don't play the challenge, or you cheat.
Or you cheat, which is basically
what did.
O&A did. They did not let you do anything. They came in, they pulled Jared, they had Pat Duffy, they let Pat Duffy talk about how great he was and do all these stunts, and they kept you aside. They wouldn't let you do anything.
On the air?
On the air. They kept pointing out how they were letting Pat do the stunt and not you. And Pat did come in and pull off an okay stunt. He took Eric Nagel's toothbrush, which at the time Eric was known for his halitosis.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's not great. And then he took some dog shit and brushed his teeth with it.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to what I did. I'm sorry. That is nothing compared to eating shit improv and then drinking a shot glass of fucking liquid detergent, which is essentially poisoning yourself. Sorry.
And Dave,
it doesn't come close. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Come on, Jared.
I know you've accused me of being a turncoat on this episode, and I'm not here because that doesn't hold a candle to anything you did on air. Like,
it's just from my perspective, Pat bailed me out.
He bailed you out. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but did that stunt in any way defeat me?
No, we eat so much animal shit on a daily basis. Like every time there's an E. coli outbreak, it's because they didn't wash the shit off of spinach. Like it's not. It doesn't hold up to human.
It can't come close to a guy on the phone with witnesses talking on the phone, pants on the ground, shitting in his hand, putting it in his mouth. It can't come close.
Or taking a bite.
It cannot come close. It's manufactured. It's more produced. It just can't come close. I'm sorry. I'm on the phone with Opie and Anthony, and I shit in my hand and fucking do that. Done. The war was over then, folks. I fucking nuked you. I fucking A-bombed your ass. Oppenheimer's coming out. I fucking Oppenheimered all of the Opie and Anthony show when I'm on the phone with witnesses, live, impromptu, shitting in my hand and eating it and cutting a promo on yo ass. Sorry, the brushing your teeth.
It's an okay stunt if they had opened with it. You know what I mean? If that had been the step up from the hat, if they had gone instead of mayo,
be
okay,
fair.
sure.
Jared, be fair. Be fair.
What do you think ranks better?
Well, you are the king of the stunts.
No, be fair. Is all of a sudden being on a phone call with Opie and Anthony and you're shitting and you decide, oh, really? He did what? Okay, I'll shit in my hand right now with your producers, your engineer, your security guard. I'll do it right here and then eat it. And no one warned me or told me what was going to happen. Come on.
David, you won the radio.
Thank you.
That's
what I needed to hear.
You did win the radio award, but you also showed so much character in these moments because they came in and weren't going to let you do anything. Like that was clearly the plan. They had you smell Rich Voss's finger because if you don't remember, Voss has a
thing in the back of
cyst in his ear that leaks.
Okay,
and it smells horrible. So they had you smell it.
That's easy.
They had Pat Duffy smell it.
Yeah,
and then because you read that they weren't going to let you do anything, you go, Rich, let me smell that again. Get something bigger on there. So he does, and instead of just smelling it, you take Rich's finger and shove it in your throat and swallow the cyst juice.
Again, and this is not planned. None of this is planned by me. I don't know Rich Voss is going to be there. I don't know what the situation is. I mean, come on. How many fucking A-bombs do I have to drop on this fucking show?
And
I destroyed them in this radio war. I'm sorry, I did. The fucking facts are facts.
Pat Duffy stapled an Eastside Dave sucks to his nutsack.
All right.
You steal the paper from him because, again, they're not letting you do a bit. I don't know where you found a stapler, but it's clear in the audio.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
It's not the staple he used for his nuts. So I don't know if you guys came in with the stapler or where you got it from, but you start stapling the Eastside Dave sucks to your face. Like, you're wanting to participate. Just, it's almost like the Jordan rule in basketball where he had to be allowed to play at any time.
Yeah, that was some weak-ass shit. I got to say, O&A show, weak ass shit.
Just remember, they put their best producer against a bunch of interns and expected us to.
I beat a whole fucking team. Let's be real.
Interns.
Radio War was me versus a massive show. And I beat all of you. The hosts, the producers, the interns, me, and Ron and Fez. Defeated all of you. Admit that right now.
Yeah.
Who won the Radio War?
You won the Radio War.
Ron and Fez?
Ron and Fez.
Beat Opie and Anthony in the Radio War.
Noon to 3.
But much like a war.
Case closed.
Much like a war, we're focusing on 3 battles. You can't really tell who won until you look at it.
In hindsight.
Decades later, see what the overall lasting impact is.
18
and if
years later.
If you look at the
16.
people
16.
involved in each group and in what they're doing today, of the people involved on the O&A show, I think 10% are still doing radio or entertainment of some point.
Two. Who is doing radio?
Not radio, or a podcast even. So you've got
anyone can do a podcast.
You've got Travis.
My fucking,
I can do a podcast.
I know. and he does. Yaddle Chattle, Star Wars podcast.
You got Travis who produces for Jim and Sam.
Oh,
so you got those 3.
Good for him.
Oh, you got Opie.
How's he doing in life? You want a radio war right now?
Oh no.
Would you like a radio war? Isn't it interesting that I'm not allowed in the building because I wrote one fucking email to Tim Sabian?
No, it's more than
13 years ago, and other people have kicked interns in the balls. They've assaulted people, and they're on staff at SiriusXM. Anyway, continue. Radio war, right?
I
love SiriusXM. I love how fucking hypocritical and bullshitty you people are.
Since leaving.
Go ahead.
I thought this would be a happy, positive show. You told me to keep these on the positive.
Since
That's
leaving,
not attacking anyone specifically.
Okay,
That's just calling out truth.
Okay.
I'm picking up on a theft pattern going on here.
I wasn't saying I didn't call out one single person.
No, not at all.
Who assaults people and kicks them in the balls. Go ahead.
Or maybe the ones that torture them psychologically.
Yeah, go ahead. But you write an email to an alcoholic fucking general manager who gets fired, and then you're not allowed back in the radio station. You fucking pussies.
There's
whatever.
a little more to that.
You got Opie, who's resurging with his podcast, probably since leaving Sirius, and since what's his name passed. I'm blanking, the chef.
Carl?
Since Carl passed, probably like getting the most steam he's had since then. You've got Anthony over at Compound. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And they had
Ron's still
I'm talking about the O&A staff.
Oh, okay.
And then by comparison, you've got Ron in radio, Fez pretty much up until he passed. He retired a year or 2 before that, but he was still doing that. You've got Earl somehow back in radio producing. You've got
luckiest.
I don't know how.
Luckiest man in
my
radio.
God, he's qualified to dim lights.
But it may just
pictures.
be like, why do people listen to Scottie Pippen's opinion on basketball? Because he was part of that great team.
I know.
You know what I mean? Steve Kerr got to coach the Warriors because he was there when Jordan dominated. You know what I mean? Like, it may just be he was a part of such a good team. Lily is still doing her thing with Earl where they sit on the couch and do a pod.
No, that's nothing.
Chose to leave radio, though. She chose on her accord. It wasn't that there weren't any options left.
She got into bread.
I mean, Pepper's probably the best
maker.
One of the best producers at Sirius still, if not
fantastic.
the best. Yeah,
No. Excuse me. What?
One of at SiriusXM.
Did you? And then what else did you say after you said one of? If not what?
The best at SiriusXM left.
No one is ever better than me as a producer ever. Period. No one. I don't care if they're working now, then. I don't care if I'm there now, I'm there then. I don't care what fucking timeline.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
But what I meant was currently working as a producer at Sirius. It may be Pepper as the best guy they've got still in that building.
No, I'm still the best, even though I don't work there.
You're not in the building. You just made it clear that you wrote an email and are no longer allowed in there. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. My ghost is there, and I'm still the best. It's roaming the halls.
The ghost of Red McDonald invades those hallways.
We're getting to you, which is look at what you're doing. I mean, you got 9 podcasts. You're #1 show on the Jersey Shore.
10 years of #1 show at Monmouth and Ocean County on 95.9. They're at 1.8 million people listen to our show or have a potential of 1.8 million listenership. And for the past 32 books, I've been #1 in the mornings.
Pardon me.
That's 8 years. Davey Mac Sports Program, winner of iTunes, best independent sports show in the world. Me. The Yaddle Chattle thing, not a joke. It's the fastest rising adult Star Wars podcast out there in the world. And then the Eastside Dave and Son Wrestling Show, nationally syndicated by Beasley Media. Yeah, I would say everything I do touches the fucking gold, Daddy.
And I would just...
Sorry, but it's the truth. The Dave haters hate hearing it, but it's the truth.
And just on a personal note, I would say for me, like the legacy you've left behind of a willingness to take anybody who wants to help, anybody who wants to be a part of a show. Hey, come on, I'll figure out what you can contribute. Whether you're, me, a comedian who wants to get into New York somehow and you answer a fan letter. Whether you're Jared, somebody who got taken advantage of.
When you wanted to get into the business, you emailed a lot of people. Let them know. How many? Who'd you email?
I don't have the whole list.
How many people?
At least a dozen.
Give me a couple names.
I mean, Sam Roberts was on the list. He responded.
Did he get back to you?
He did, and then got what I could do and was like, no, I'm good. You're not up to our level yet, which was fair. I wasn't, but he wasn't willing to see the diamond in the rough that you were.
Gotcha.
Some other places as well. Some comedians, just I don't want to burn any bridges because I'm sure they got a million of those, but the difference was one guy was willing to look.
I brought you him.
And just, Jared, as a point for you, I think some of those guys you interacted with learned lessons from your experience going forward, because as an intern, I interacted with both Anthony and Eric. And I know Eric went out of his way to like not only be like, this is what you're doing today, this is your responsibilities, you don't have to do anything beyond this. If you feel uncomfortable, let me know. But also like, hey, this is how you get a job post
That's what
here.
Who says?
Eric. Like when I was first interning, he really did try to be like, this is the good things, and like the conversation you said you should have had, he did try to have. And even to his credit, I know a lot of people say Anthony's, famous and doesn't like to be bothered, but even he would check in, once a month and be like, hey, you're doing all right, they're treating you okay. And I feel like, I'm sorry you took into the trailblazing path for me, but I benefited from a lot of the experience because all of those people grew up through this.
Final words, Jared. We got to end the show.
With you because we're getting out of here.
I have to actually go and talk to my children at some point.
You probably have to do radio by the time we're done doing this.
I mean, really, I have a morning radio show that I've been #1 for the past 10 years.
Fine.
Final thoughts. I mean, the way Robert is describing you as a hero.
Well, I'm not a hero though.
You are.
I just wanted to be an intern and I wanted to learn and I wanted to get a job. Oh no, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Without a fucking little piece of shit maggot like you, I wouldn't be such a superstar war victor. And I like winning everything. Mario Kart, ping pong,
T-ball, wiffle ball.
Doesn't matter.
Basketball against your kids.
Exactly. So without you, I wouldn't have had this radio war victory. So I really appreciate you for being,
the person to dunk on.
And Jared, after you left the business completely, like you weren't working with Dave anymore, you were doing nothing. Our first interaction was I was getting into it with Sam.
Well, he was working with me.
Still doing Davey Mac. This was during the Eastside Dave days when I was interning.
I had come back. You wanted me to do a couple of shows with
Jared's worked with me forever. Did you know that not only did he do special delivery starring Sam and Dave?
I did know that.
Then Jared was the very first producer of the Eastside Dave show.
Arguably the best.
On Compound Media. Classic masterpiece show. No. And if you want to see every single episode, by the way, they're all available for free on YouTube. My YouTube page, Eastside Dave TV.
Check out the Star Wars special.
And now, my co-host on Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast.
Absolutely.
It's been a 16, 17-year relationship with this motherfucker.
I'll never forget. You guys were hanging out after this whole thing in the Opie and Anthony office at K-Rock. You and Fez were just sitting back there. And after all this shit, I was like, can I get you guys anything? And you guys laughed. You're like, nah, we're good.
What do you mean?
Well, because at that point, I realized everything was a work.
Oh, we were just laughing, having a good time?
You're having a good time, yeah.
Why? You thought I was going to be mad at you?
I didn't know any of this work and fucking shoot shit.
Oh, yeah. Fucking radio, wrestling, same thing.
I guess there was a certain naivete that I went into it of how much was actual work versus shoot. And, a show like this is very helpful because a lot of the people like myself who remember random stupid shit from this time period get a better insight into what was real, what was fake, what was going through.
Put that microphone in front of your mouth, you freak.
It's right here.
The top of it. Have you look? This. There you go. You were speaking into the side.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
All right, let's start from the top.
But I swear to God.
Just while we're getting out of here.
Yeah, it's just, this whole experience has completely changed the way I treat people, how I operate professionally.
Oh, that's nice. Well, are you? So you're a bad person to people? Like, you're kind of repeating stuff that
hurt people.
You make the people at your iced tea company, I take shit out of the toilets with their hands.
Yes, that's exactly what I make. I tell the new interns, hey, coffee, 2 sugars. No, that's not how it works.
How has it helped you?
Well, it's helped me because you don't treat people like the way I got treated at my internship.
And
like,
I can even answer.
Don't though.
I know, but so this wasn't really traumatizing. I thought
it took.
There were some fun experiences. No.
Yeah, but part of the reason why I had that meltdown on your show was because of the continuous anxiety that I used to get coming in every week doing Opie and Anthony, doing special delivery. It's true though.
Special delivery was starting Sam and Dave. You had anxiety with that?
Of course, because you didn't know how Sam was going to fuck with me.
Okay, it's not on me, right?
No, because a lot
we drove together.
Yeah, you made me drive you.
I know, but that was fun times. Star Wars talk and stuff like that.
I guess that was the
impetus. It was bonding moments.
Anyway, I had a lot of anxiety going into it, and I'm not the only intern that's had that.
Do you still have anxiety today?
No.
You know what? He's a fantastic co-host.
He is a great
on
co-host.
Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast. He is good. He embraces his role. He's the Jedi of the show. I'm the Sith. Obviously, we have our roles. I get a little heated for real because sometimes he bothers me. But overall, I got to have him to talk to talk the Star Wars stuff.
Of course, because if it was me, it would be things like, "Hey, what do you think would happen if Wes Anderson made a movie about Jar Jar Binks?"
Yes, I would. Oh my God! You want to talk about the Sam threatening someone with a chair? I would be beating you with a chair if we did a Star Wars podcast together.
And I couldn't even press charges because we'd show it to the judge and be like, "You deserve that." But Jared, I can tell you it changed you because the way we first met was I had been poking the Sam Bear a little bit, if you'll recall, Dave. This was during the Eastside Dave days. You
were obsessed with the fact that Sam didn't get back to that email that you were just talking about.
I'm kind of like you. If you're not with me, I'm going to beat you and bury you. But Larry Bass started a "fuck you, Sam" chant, and then I applied to be a producer, and then he said, no, why would I hire somebody who started a "fuck you, Sam" chant? And then Jared, you came in and basically were like, hey, man, just be careful. I know you want this badly, but don't let your want to be in this industry take advantage of your morals or change who you are. And even to this day, we work together on this show. We work together in the Dave universe, but a lot of projects I'm doing outside of that, you'll text me, you'll give me advice. You're a truly caring human being.
Jared's not a bad guy.
You don't see that much in the world. So
Jared's
as much
a nice
as this
person.
was a trauma, I'm kind of happy it made you who you are today because you're one of my best friends, even though...
Best friends? That's total bullshit.
I said
when we were talking about Tales from the Satellite, and I said I want to bring in Jared and Ron Fez Archivist, you were hesitant at first.
About
now we're gonna fucking radio war right now. That's the way to end this episode.
What are you doing to me, Dave?
Were you not dragging your feet about Jared and Ron Fez Archivist when I suggested that?
It wasn't about working with them. It was about the number of chefs in the kitchen. Just making sure we all had one direction.
Radio Wolf!
Honestly, our pre-productions are the most fun I'll have next to Yaddle
We've got a great team. Jared, Robert,
that I did
RNF Archivist.
Oh yeah, and the issue that I did foresee is what happens every time we meet. Just all of our autism syncs up, and we don't talk about the topic. It's just like, do you really think Al Dukes did this back in the day? Yeah, it gets rough. We get in the weeds. Occasionally, I'll text you and be like, "We're really in the weeds here, Dave. I need help."
And especially on the weekends, please do not include my name on any fucking group texts.
Hey, they never come from me.
Especially on the weekends when I'm trying to do things like I don't know, be with my kids. Because the last time you guys had a group thread, it was 8,000 questions about this very episode, by the way.
Which went great. And thank you, folks,
but it was a good episode.
For tuning in to
Great
Tales from the
Thank
Satellite.
you, patrons.
Epic. You know what? Final thoughts on... one last final thought, quickly.
I really appreciate all the patrons that have subscribed, and we're looking forward to having more patrons. We got a lot of great stuff coming down the pike. I have a blast producing this show.
This is great stuff.
I think that the fans generally are enjoying it.
They are. I've gotten just so much great reviews. Can't thank the people enough. It's been fantastic.
And if you have any ideas of anything you'd like to hear, any kind of favorite Dave moments, please email me.
It doesn't have to be Dave moments. So also what we're saying is that it's just famous moments in eras of mine, whether it's Ron and Fez era or Special Delivery or Davey Max Sports. etc. But it's just any type of big moments where that I was there. That's all. It doesn't always have to be revolving around me. I've said this to you folks. It could be anything.
The issue is most of the moments involving you are like you heavy because you're so great.
I'm gold.
You know, if you're involved, it's going to be
Call
good
me
because
BOG,
it's
Daddy.
Yeah.
Box office gold.
That's
what they call me. BOG.
They
Box
call me
office
Big
gold,
Shot
baby.
Bob. They call him Jedi Jared.
Thank you all so
for
much.
tuning in.
Hold on, I didn't get you got to email me at yaddlechattle@gmail.com.
Yaddlechattle@gmail.com.
Final thoughts from me are I appreciate everyone, and I'm glad that the radio war is over. Just like the British and the Americans, all those years ago, we're now best friends. Just like the Americans and the Japanese. You got to always not stutter on that.
That was a bad burp. That was a real bad IPA burp.
That was a true burp stutter. And I apologize because of all the syllables to pause. That was not the one, but that was not intentional, you sons of bitches. I'm happy that just like the Japanese and Americans, we're friends all these years later. And you know what? God bless you, Robert. God bless you, Jared. God bless Ron Fez, Archivist. God bless the Davey Mac Tales from the satellite audience. And God bless America.
Thank you for tuning in, radio fans. This has been another episode of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite.